What is happening, guys? Dave the Film Junkie here. It is Friday. We made it to the end of another week. Another lovely week. Hopefully you guys had a good week. And yeah, guys, I got a new open sign, but apparently I got to get a better camera because it is just completely washed out. You can see it on the reflection of that. So there's at least that. But yeah, I might have to turn that thing off or get a better camera. That's right. Jeez. What is going on, guys? How's everybody doing out there? That's right. What is happening? All right. Who's out there? Who's out there? What's going on? Joey, there you are. What's going on? Patel, how you doing, bud? Neil, always in the house. Yeah, the neon sign, it is, but you can't really see it. I'm like, God dang, man. Fucking cameras. Gotta get a better camera. What's going on, Landon? What's going on, Will Morris? What's up, buddy? Just in time, hobbies. That's right. Mr. Fear Jason, what is up, bud? Viper, you're there. And yeah, a little echoey. Is it echoey? It sounds echoey? Uh-oh, that's not good. Is it really sounding echoey? Yeah. It sounds echoey? Oh, you know what? I know why. Hold on. Yeah, because I have the wrong audio on. That's why. Because I was trying something. So here we go. Default, not that one. Oh shit. Wait, what? What the hell? It's not reading my mic. Hold on a sec. Damn it. All right. Sorry about that. Sound good now? All right, here we go. I think we got it. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Did you like the show? Well, that was it. Quick show right there, but I think we're good now, right? Sound good? Way better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know what happened, but it wasn't reading my my mic. It was taking it off the the computer right there. Well, that was dumb. Technology, you got to love it. You got to really love it. So anyways, guys, appreciate it. Appreciate coming in here. Dave and Queen Hippolyta. That is right. Cheers, guys. I know some of you are like, wait, does he really have Connie Nielsen? Yes, I do. So cheers. Well, cheers first. Cheers first. Basically, yeah, I do have an interview with Connie Nielsen, but since she lives in Denmark currently, so she is 9 hours ahead. So right now, I don't even know what time it is. I think it's like 5 a.m. over there. So naturally, she couldn't make it. I don't think she'd want to just like big time wake up and just be like, all sleepy-eyed with eye boogers and shit like that and want to come on here. So we actually recorded early this morning, 11 o'clock my time to be exact. So yeah. So there you go. But yeah, so we recorded it earlier just to and then we talked about it's about 45 minutes. So I'll be running that in just a little bit myself. But we have somebody. I have a special little guest that is showing up right now to just give just to talk shit for a little bit. Hold on a sec. Stream. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he just wanted to give a little message right now. So, guys, let's welcome Mr. Zack Snyder. What is up, sir?
Hey, guys, sorry
Don't be sorry.
Your stream like that. It's rude.
No, it's okay. You can interrupt the stream anytime, man. It's fine. It's totally fine.
I'm sorry, I'm down here in the dark in my Christmas setting. It was very.
It's actually pretty beautiful. That's a beautiful tree you got there.
Thank you.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. See, setting up that shot.
Getting ready. Getting ready for old Saint Nick. But I just wanted to jump on for a second and just say that I heard there was some decking of the halls going on this weekend.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of something happening possibly on Sunday. I think I have a little bit of a thing right here. Oh, there we go. Deck the Hall of Justice right there. Look at all that.
Oh, geez. Let me look. Let's see.
Yeah.
My goodness, quite a schedule. Looks like me on the poster.
Yeah, I think that is you doing some drawing with a Batman gauntlet.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I would be it would be rude if I didn't participate in such an event, don't you think? Instead, at some level, not like rude, but just... So, what time are you on?
I think me and Mr. Chris Wong Swenson, we're going to be on at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sounds about right.
That sounds cool. I don't think I'm doing anything then.
You seem like you got freed up. I mean, I know you're a little busy right now. You got a couple of projects out there.
I'm slightly busy. But if you guys wouldn't mind me jumping on, I got some. We could talk about some stuff. There's a little movie coming on Christmas. I wouldn't mind chatting.
Oh yeah. I think we should chat about it. I mean, I got the Queen coming on in a little bit here, so I think I definitely would like to talk some Wonder Woman with you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. So I hope you hold her high for me and like that. I guess I'll see you at 6. It is. So
there we go. Yep, 6 p.m. Zack Snyder, guys, right here. He said it himself. 6 p.m. Zack Snyder is going to be on the deck the Hall of Justice. Film Junkee, Chris Wong Swenson, Ping Pong Flicks. We're going to do some chatting and we're going to raise some funds, hopefully. And so I'll see you. I guess I'll see you on Sunday, Zach.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right, you have a good one. I'm going to watch the show.
All right, cool, man. All right, take it easy. Thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. Jesus Christ. Woo! Man. All right. Well, there you go. There was the announcement right there, guys. Zack Snyder will be showing up on mine and Chris Wong Swenson's Deck the Hall of Justice live stream on Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m., of course, Eastern Standard Time. So there you go. Yeah, when Zack Snyder goes, hey, let me just jump on real quick and say I'll be there. You answer that bat phone and you say, what's up, Commissioner? What do you want? What do you need? When he puts out that bat signal, whoo, man, I tell you what. So yeah, answered the call. So there you go, guys. Bam, right there. Talk about it. So that's going to be a lot of fun. He's, of course, he wants to talk some Wonder Woman because he's a fan. And, of course, Stone Quarry is a producer. Him and Deborah are, of course, a producer of the movie. So he's going to do, of course, a lot of promoting of that. But I think he might, we might talk a little bit about something that he's working on, possibly just a teensy bit. But so what? Audio. What happened to the audio? Somebody says audio. Something happened again? Did it go away? We good? All right. Yeah. How hard am I right now? I can't stand up. There's a good thing that there's a table right here. Okay. Because man, I tell you what, if this table could probably lift up right about now. Jeez. Okay. Audio's good. All right. All right. Thank you. I know I saw somebody go, audio. Like what? Did it mess up again? We're good. All right, guys. So yeah, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Zack Snyder going to be on the Ping Pong Flicks and Film Junkee stream, Deck the Hall of Justice right there. So cheers to that. Thank you, Zach, for coming on and announcing that. We were talking about it. We were going back and forth about it. We're talking about it. We pretty much confirmed it, and I wasn't sure if you wanted to keep it a secret or not. But I think this was the best way to do it, to announce it on the Vodka stream, where I'm about to show you guys an interview with the Queen herself, Miss Connie Nielsen. So, and she does, and we do talk about Zack Snyder. We do talk about Zack Snyder. She has some lovely words to say about the man. She is just awesome right there. So yeah, man, tell you what, guys, talking about just making the weekend right there, man. I tell you what, I'm like, where am I right now? Where am I? Where am I? I like it. I like it though. That's just awesome. That just shows you how awesome that man is. He's just like, yep, I think I'll show up and let's just talk about it right there. So, yeah, I almost when he said like I know I think I'd be rude if I didn't show up. I should have dropped the
Fucking hard fact.
I almost did it. And then I should have probably, of course, you heard it here first.
Exclusivo!
So there you go, man. Whoo. So there you go. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun all day. I mean, we got Ray Fisher on Poindexter Lounge. We got other people just jumping streams. It's going to be a pretty fun day. I think it's going to be a hell of a day. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I might show up on some other streams too. I don't know, just anything. Yeah, coffee break. Easy there. Dave, did you did I what? Let's see. Did Snyder do your lighting setup? Looks good. Yeah, congrats on the interview. I thank you, Fourth. Wow, Fourth actually said something nice to me. Wow, look at that. Times are a-changing. No, he did not. I just tweaked that stuff, but I just wish you could see the words open. It's just totally like washed out, but it kind of looks cool, right? You can see it in the reflection of the Spider-Man poster, so nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Zach is definitely the best. So, yep, that was a little surprise right there. That just happened like 20 minutes before I went on. It was like, hey, yeah, let's just, can I just come on and let's do this. So, really dig that. Really digging that. So, yeah, I'm about to show you guys the interview, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Hit that like, thumbs up, of course, if you haven't already. And appreciating the donations as well. Every little bit helps. If you want to join the Patreon, do so. If you want to do so, join the Patreon. Nothing wrong with that either. And yeah. That's pretty much, let's see. Yeah. Anything else? Let's see. Oh, is that enough? But I thought it kind of just looks like a halo, doesn't it, Viper? Yeah, I know. Wish you could actually see it, but yeah, it's all good. It's whatever. I think I need something. I need to put like something like right there. It seems like just too much of a blankness right there. So yeah, join the Patreon if you want to. Like I said, there's the $6 tier, which all those guys are able to send me video questions, which we got about 3 of those tonight for the panel. And then, $3 is, kind of like what I'm working on, blah, blah, blah. And then the $1 one, just to help out the pirate ship. If you got extra $1 a month, every little bit helps. So it's all down below. The Vodka stream, I like it. Thank you, James. I like that. I dig that. So I really do dig that. Oh, man. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, first off, I mean, I'm sure it's going to get brought up, and I'm just letting you guys know that, that Mandalorian episode today, man, that hit my feels in the balls today. And I'm sure that's going to get brought up on the panel. Oh man, the boss back on the Vodka stream. Come on, Dave, keep it in your pants. I'm trying to. It's hard though. Literally. Jeez, man, tell you what, you got your shirt today. Cool, man. Thank you, Langston, Travis. Thank you, bud. I know I'm trying to keep it in my pants, man. It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not going to call it a pineapple stream. No. It's just going to be a regular stream. It's just a special film Junkee Live. Images. There you go. Yeah, that's right. Images. It's going to be pretty crazy. And then I'm sure it'll get brought up, of the use of. So Zach, you use the word fuck for Batman. When does he say fuck? I'm dropping that. I'm going to drop that, while he's here. Trust me, I'm going to definitely drop that. So I know Chris is all about pineapple, and I'm sure it's going to get brought up. It's going to get brought up, and, and we're going to have some fun with that for sure. We're definitely going to have some fun with the whole pineapple thing. I already know. And you know what I'm going to say? Fuck. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to say. Jeez. Man, I tell you what. So, but yeah, that's going to be good stuff right there. All right, we got Daniel. Zack Snyder Justice League. Oh, yeah, we got 2 mil, huh? I'm not good with the Spanish, man. Not fully good. Sorry. I think I'm part of that. Am I part of Zack Snyder's Justice League? I think I am. I'm part of some Facebook group. So yeah, but yeah, there's a Facebook group. I think it's Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm not sure if I'm part of that. If I'm not, I'm part of some Zack Snyder something on Facebook. But if you want to, oh, that's 20K. Sorry, not. Yeah, it's different. I forgot. Yeah, is that different? Yeah, or anything. But anyways, yeah, if I'm not part of that group, let me know. Send over the link, and I'll be part of that group if you need to. All right, coffee break. You need to. You need to relax. It's okay. Someone's had too much coffee, I think, right there. Yeah, and what Eric said, if you want to help that too, there's nothing wrong with that. But anyways, guys, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the interview ready, and I'm gonna adjust some things here. So yeah, like I said, interviewed Connie earlier today at 11 o'clock my time, so it's 8 o'clock her time at night. And you know what? When the Queen says, "Hey, I got wine," I poured myself some vodka. Okay? I definitely did. I poured myself some vodka because I was like, okay, if the Queen is going to be drinking, I got to be drinking with her. So I was drinking at 11 o'clock this morning with the Queen herself because she was all about it. So, all right. So here we go. Got it ready to go right here. Okay. So there it is right there. And I'm going to go ahead and duck out of here. And I got to adjust the audio too. So I'm going to go ahead and duck out of here. And you guys just watch the Queen. She was a delight. She was an absolute delight, of course. And really enjoyed talking to her. So here we go, guys. Here is Queen Hippolyta, if I'm saying that right. You know me and the bad stuff. But yes, Connie Nielsen right here. So here we go. And all right, everybody. I am here with the lovely, beautiful, talented Connie Nielsen. How's it going, Connie?
It's 8 o'clock over here in Denmark, and got
Beautiful
Christmas lights on, and we're doing pretty great. Yeah,
doing pretty great. Yeah, if everybody has to realize that Connie is 9 hours in the future from where I'm at. Obviously, it's daytime here, but hey, we're still having drinks together.
We
so.
are.
Yeah,
we're sorry about the red wine.
Oh no, it's okay. Red wine is great. So cheers, Connie. How so obviously you're in Denmark right now, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. How's everything going over there when it comes to all the madness of basically the apocalypse that's happening outside?
I honestly, in Denmark everything was going so well, and then in the middle of October everything just went bananas. And I was going through like this 4 months shoot in UK, and we were all wearing masks. I actually, me less than everyone else on set, and 80 people got through this 4 months shoot without getting COVID. And we were like creating all these bubbles, and it was so much work and it was so hard. And I was all just thinking in my head, I'm going to get to Copenhagen. And we're going to go to Tivoli, and there's going to be the Christmas villages, and we're going to go to Vinstuen, and we're going to have like glug and it's mulled wine, and we're going to hang out with everybody. We're going to have Christmas lunches. It's going to be so much fun. And literally 2 days before coming home, the Danish government, rightfully so, shut everything down. Yeah. And now I'm even debating whether I can go and see my dad, my 83-year-old dad.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I just spent 3 nights in the hospital with my kid who broke his arm and getting operations. No, I honestly, this was not exactly the Christmas experience I had in mind.
No, that doesn't really say a Merry Christmas right there.
No. But
man.
Everybody was so lovely at the hospital. Like, can I just say, rah, Denmark, Danish system. If you ever want to have your kid break an arm, which you don't, you should do it in Denmark, because
do it in Denmark. Okay.
OMG, it's so incredible.
I'm gonna make a note. If I'm gonna break a bone, I'm gonna make sure I'm in Denmark.
Be in Denmark.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the only place to break it on. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Over here it's madness too. I mean, I live in California, and it's just like we're on like lockdowns again. Several counties are locking down, and it's like,
Dude, you guys are the epicenter, it said today.
Pretty much.
It said California, epicenter of the world.
what? Hey, go big or go home. Go big or go home in California. You know, I guess. Jeez, I know.
Oh my gosh, I'd like California to go small.
I know. We definitely need to go small, and it is interesting. And like you said, you know, you want to visit your dad, but I know I have my Nana, who I haven't seen all year. We usually do like a family thing, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're not doing this year, and I'm just like, I want to see her, like, you know, take her to lunch or something. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, like if I have like a little tickle or a sneeze, I'm like, no, I can't see her. I can't.
Dude, I've got like the worst cold right now, and I feel like every time I sneeze,
yes,
it's like I gotta tell. No, I just got tested.
Well, I know when I'm at the store, I'm like, I feel a little cough or a sneeze coming on. Don't do it because
Don't do it. People are literally gonna think you're a murderer.
I know, serial killer in the house.
Yeah,
But anyways, I got to get to the nitty gritty here. How relieved do you feel that we are finally, everybody slowly is going to see Wonder Woman 1984?
You know, we kept on hoping
Yeah.
that we would be able to make it possible for people to see this the way it's supposed to be seen, on the big screen, and with a bunch of people you love and want to share this with. And I think that ultimately Patty felt that, you know, this is a dark time.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can help in even the smallest ways, just make you forget that for a moment and just remember that we're all in this together, and that we can be united in one way or another, you know, whether it's watching a movie together, whether it's having a meal together, whatever it is, you know. I think that ultimately just bringing a little bit of light, I think, is exactly what Patty wrote to me when they decided to bring it out this way.
Nice.
And I think that that's what it is for us, you know. It's Patty always like makes films about things that you know, bring together ideas about, you know, what is it that makes us special? You know, what is it about being a human?
Yeah.
What kinds of challenges is it about being a human that you can learn from? And I think that this film is asking that question again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, ever since that first trailer showed up, I think it was the end of last year at CCXP, I mean, the hype levels, I mean, went like through the roof. I mean, this new era of Wonder Woman that they're doing, and then just like, you know, incorporating, you know, obviously with your character is going to be pretty much everything that's on the Themyscira Island. And it's like, when you see those scenes, you're like, oh, wow, they amped it up a bit. And when we kept hearing about, okay, they delayed it to this date, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hits, and then it was like, oh, we don't know if it's going to release. They want to put it on. You know, what's funny? It was actually, you guys, they were going to put it on October 1st, which was actually my birthday. And I was like, yay, happy birthday to me. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, it ain't going to happen. But then they finally figured out something. And it's just, it's pretty great that, you know, I mean, obviously right now, today, it's actually going to be releasing in China, East Africa, Japan, Nigeria, Spain, and Vietnam. So everybody who can go out to a movie theater, see it on that big, huge screen, IMAX, which is the way it's supposed to be, please do so. And then, of course, it's already out in like many other places in the pretty much December 16th, where it started being released in theaters. But of course, what's actually nice too is like eventually, you know, we can actually watch it in the comfort of our homes. But I think somebody like me, I'm all about like seeing it on that big screen, and hopefully I get to do that. And I'm just glad that we're actually able to go and watch the movie, which I'm sure you are.
If you're at all able to, for example, put together a bunch of people from your own bubble.
Yep.
And do so safely, you know, I really obviously think that it would be great to do to go and see it in the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Again, this is a very crazy time, and unfortunately, after Thanksgiving, a lot of people have gotten infected. So we have to be super careful. Everybody has to be super careful, and I think that they have the choice now, and that's really good. You know, everybody has the choice to decide where they want to see this film.
Yeah, it's definitely everybody has that choice, and so
and just, you know, a few more months, and we're going to be able to go back to the theaters again.
Great.
Yes, and we'll be able to go to concerts, and we'll be able to go to Glastonbury and watch music and be together in festivals. You know, we can do all of the stuff that we've been doing for thousands of years.
Yes.
And we'll continue that after this. And, and we just have to be a little bit patient.
Yes, exactly. Just a little patience, guys.
Yeah.
And you're saying all the right things right there. I mean, my name with all this is Film Junkee. So I mean, I'm at the movie theaters. I'm at the movie theaters like every Thursday. Anytime I could see something early as possible. I haven't seen Wonder Woman 84 yet. I'm seeing it actually on Tuesday. I didn't get the first round of early.
Oh, you're great. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get to see it. I get to see it a couple days early. So, everybody in America. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, after that first trailer came out, and it was just like, whoa. I mean, it popped, and I got pretty excited about it. And I'm sure when the sequel came about for you and coming back and working with Gal, working with Patty, and then just getting back into the character of Queen Hippolyta. I mean, like how did it feel to get back onto the set and get back into that character?
You know, it's such a great character, and it's such a wonderful culture that Patty has created with the Amazons. And I really look forward to being able to bring to the audience more stories from that incredible culture. You know, in this case, we're using this particular area of the film to bring home a very special lesson to that is very important to Wonder Woman, and I can't go into further details about it, but it's a key moment that we're creating in that particular part of the film, and that will come back later in the film, as you will see. And it's so, I really love this whole culture, this whole aesthetic of the Amazons. I don't know if anyone has spent enough time to really see these incredible stories. I was very inspired when I was making that character by all of the new discoveries in anthropology about female warriors that did exist for real and that were, you know, in fact, real life Amazons. And to have seen both girls, but also boys, really experience this female warrior culture has been so exciting. And knowing that it's not fantasy alone, but it's actually really historically, there were so many more female warriors than we knew. And, you know, and it's been so exciting to bring that part to life and to inspire women now, you know, to find their own internal warriors, and young girls and young boys to see women not just as princesses and, you know, God bless princesses, but also to see themselves as heroes, you know, warriors and heroes. That to me has been very important. Yeah.
I mean, like, in the mythology of these characters, some people don't realize. I mean, as much as you know, this is obviously a comic book movie, but there's so much mythology that's out there that it's kind of like based on, which is what's so great about this. And like you said, bringing these strong female characters. I mean, we're always so used to seeing like the warriors that are, you know, the dudes, the big brooding dudes, you know, just going out. But when it comes to this world, it's strictly female warriors. And I mean, one of the biggest things too is, I mean, when you saw with the first one, I mean, getting into, I mean, you and everybody has to get into like you have to get fitness wise, you got to get in pretty decent shape to pull off some of the stuff that you have to do here. How is the process of that? Especially, I guess you could say with this movie as opposed to like the first one. Did you have like more time to prepare or less time, or how was the comparison to the first movie?
So I think that there wasn't that as much physical preparation that I had to do on this one as I did on the other one. But one of the things that is wonderful about, doing these things is really the whole getting in shape and doing all of those stunts and so on and all of the physical preparation for that has been amazing at the time. But I think that it's not just the physical aspect. I think it's not just female either, because that's one of the things I did discover about Wonder Woman is that the power that it has to really inspire humans, period. Just inspire people.
Yep.
And so many times I think that women have felt excluded from the whole sort of, the sense of having agency in your life and to change things, because usually the hero is played by a guy. And what's great about Wonder Woman is that you see that, well, the hero is a hero, period. It doesn't have to be a female or a male.
Yes.
And I saw that very clearly when I was at the premiere of the first Wonder Woman with my then 11-year-old son, because he and his friends, as soon as they started seeing Wonder Woman doing her stunts, they just went like, whoa. And you could just see they looked at each other in the same way they would have done it if it was, any kind of male adventure. Yeah. And I realized then that gender in that sense doesn't matter. Gender only matters when it is excluded. Yeah. It doesn't matter once everything is inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, and that's what I love about movies is like, I mean, there's been so many strong female characters, and I mean, obviously, in today's society, it's more looked at like the spotlight goes on it. But I look back. I literally have figurines of like, you got Sigourney Weaver and Alien. We got just characters like that were just strong back then. It's like, you just accepted it. You loved the story. You loved how strong that person was, the hero. And I just love the fact that that Wonder Woman, is taking it to that extra level. But I mean, yeah, when it comes to like, I've always wondered about. I'm always curious about when it preparing for a role like this. I mean, obviously, Gal's the one that's like always, on the screen and everything like that. But I mean, but still, just to put that armor on. You must just, I mean, it must feel pretty awesome just to be like, yes, look at this. I mean, I got armor on. Does it feel like pretty powerful when you put that on?
I mean, not if you are not actually in the physical shape to do what you have to do. Yeah. And in that way, we were so well prepared for all of those stunts. I mean, you cannot do those things and not be well prepared.
Yeah, because you got to like ride horseback. You're wielding swords.
No, I was doing 2 hours a day of weight training, then 2 hours a day of horseback riding, and then 2 hours a day of weapons training. So you can believe, we were prepared for months for this stuff here. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were in peak shape, all of us, and I'm so grateful because we've continued I think most of us to just live like that. I mean, not 6 hours a day, but certainly that level of physical conditioning is something that's really important to me. I think not least because of that extra level experience. It's just, you almost feel like you don't want to play with that. It's such a great thing to have that.
Yeah, I always wonder when actors like when they get in super shape for a role, it's like, well, what happens when it's all done? I mean, do you just go back to just eating pizzas and ice cream or something like that? I mean,
hey, don't down on pizzas and ice cream.
I'm sure, like, yeah, the first night you're like, give me something, horrible, greasy and sweet. I'm sure that first night you're like, give me something good.
Oh no, I promise you, you can eat all of that stuff. You can eat anything you want, really. And I think that is, in fact, the secret.
Okay.
If you work out and you make sure that you always eat a lot of vegetables and salads and fruit, then you can eat all the other stuff that you want too. I think that a lot of people misunderstand.
Yes.
That.
No, there's many times where like I've talked on my shows and videos where it's like you have to allow yourself to have a cheat day. You can't just be strict on like simply just vegetables, lean proteins, and then that's it. You have to
don't look at it as if you're cheating.
No.
And it just like bring it all in. Be inclusive, man. Like there's nothing wrong with pizza.
There's nothing wrong with pizza. There's nothing wrong with pizza at all. What I also like to do, Connie, too, when it comes to my interviews and stuff with special guests, is I welcome in some fan submissions, and I got a couple of fans, big, huge Wonder Woman fans and fans of you that would love to ask a question. So I got the first one from somebody named Wonder Meg, big, huge Wonder Woman fan. She has a question for you right here. So here we go.
Hi, Connie. Hi, Dave. My question is, why is it so important to have motherhood embodied by characters like Martha Kent and Queen Hippolyta? Thank you.
Motherhood, yeah.
Say, wait, I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry. It said like I had to like tap, and then I tried to tap, and then it was over. What'd you say?
Okay, so you basically said like how important is it to have like when it comes to these characters, like comic book characters, to have like motherhood, because you have Superman who has Martha Kent. And then we have, obviously with Diana who has her mother, and it's like, so why is it so important to have those kind of characters for these bigger than life characters?
It's family, dude. It's family. It's what you're made. It's where you come from.
Yeah.
It's so important. There is this one thing, and that is like a superhero strength. That is the love of a parent.
Yes.
A parent who is a good parent loves you unconditionally. Well, that's a superhero virtue. That's a superpower. The power of every parent to love their kids. It doesn't matter how impossible they are. They can be screaming and caked in I don't know, candy and Coca-Cola and awful things, and you will love them unconditionally no matter what. That's a superhero power. Parents are superheroes. They love their kids and support them through thick and thin. They drive us mad. They rob our sleep and they love our peace. They rob our peace and we love them unconditionally. Parenthood is present in all superhero stories as well as in all mythologies, because it is the one thing that continues life, my friends.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. I mean, one thing that you moms have, I mean, you have the ability to take pain. And dads. No. Nothing against dads. Nothing against dads. Like dads have their role, which yes, absolutely. But I was gonna say like mothers. I mean, literally. Like, there's that whole thing, like, want me to make it, kiss it and feel better. You ate a little scrape, kissed it, make it feel better. There's something that actually happens. I don't know, it's a phenomenon, but yes, moms can kiss a wound or a scratch or a scrape, whatever, and it makes it feel better. Like, it's pretty awesome how that is. Yeah. Okay. And then
I just literally spent like the last 3 days with my son's broken arm, and I didn't sleep at night. I just didn't sleep because I was holding up a broken arm.
Yeah. How old is your son?
13 is the youngest one.
13. Yeah. Ouch, man. But like I said, if you're gonna break an arm, break it in Denmark for sure.
Oh yeah, break it in Denmark. Yeah.
All right, and then we have a question from somebody who is very inspired by you, who actually does cosplay, and she wanted to say all this. So you said you couldn't hear it when I dropped the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna push the right button this time. So
okay. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna drop it right now. This is from
Adi Rodriguez.
Okay, first I have to say you are so amazing, Connie, and you've inspired so many women just like myself, and I thank you every day for that. But I have to ask you, when you first saw yourself as Queen of the Amazons, how did that make you feel?
Look at that costume. See that costume? Wow.
How gorgeous is that girl? I mean, that
Oh, my-
girl is just gorgeous.
Look
Oh
at this
my
right
God.
here. I mean, she does this stuff. I mean, look at these images right here. I mean,
She looks incredible. Look at her.
yeah.
She is so gorgeous.
But yeah,
She was
how?
born to do this stuff. She
Right?
looks amazing. How did it make me feel? Okay, so putting on that costume, you know, you get this like this odd, like you get all this inspiration when you read the story the first time, and you start having all of these feelings and ideas. And then when I got together with the great, incredible costume designer on Wonder Woman, and I saw, and on Justice League, and I saw the designs that they had made, both of them for Hippolyta, I was like astounded. It looked so amazing. And then you put it on, and then there's all of the makeup and the hair design, all of these different people. They've even given you, you know, all of the work on your body so that you have been like preparing for so long. And that's a good thing, because when you have to wear double corsets while you're fighting with swords, you know, that's yet another thing. It's like the Ginger Rogers thing where, you know, Fred Astaire had it easy because, you know, Ginger Rogers had to do it the same thing that he did, except, you know, doing it backwards and in high heels, right? It's the same thing. And like we're doing the same thing the guys are doing, but we're wearing double costumes and fucking heels, you know. It was like, it wasn't it certainly was a challenge. Hippolyta is just such a fantastic character on the page. That's DC, man. What can I say? It was fantastic putting that on and being in it.
I mean, going back to Wonder Meg's question. I mean, DC really goes heavy on the mothers, which is what's so great about that universe.
And on mythology, right?
And the mythology.
They were into anthropology. They were into mythology. Read your books, people. Read your books and get into the past and get into knowledge.
Yeah.
There's no more disinformation. Just get into knowledge. Read your books.
Leave the fake news to the media.
Yeah.
Read the book. You got time.
Well, no, not to the media, man. No.
Yeah, no.
Let's just be careful here and just like read your books, know your shit. Just get in there and get some knowledge. I think we have to bring knowledge to the forefront again.
We definitely do. All right, she has one more question, so prepare yourself for the button right here. So one more question from her, okay?
Connie, you are such a great inspiration to women all over the world, including myself. How does it feel seeing cosplayers dressed up as Hippolyta and empowering and helping others?
Well, I mean, first of all, I am just so impressed. I mean, I got all that help to look like that, and they're doing this on their own.
It baffles my mind. It really baffles my
nobody
mind.
doing that woman's makeup and hair, and she looks
it's all her.
astonishing. She looks amazing.
Yeah.
So, and as I understand, you know, cosplayers are like a whole team of people that are doing this together, and I just find that so fantastic. And I love that people are finding ways to empower themselves through, you know, whatever mythologies that, you know, feel pertinent to them today. So I think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I just, you know, say, you know, do it, man. Just do it and feel, just feel that energy and your imagination.
Yeah. No,
Your
I mean,
imagination is amazing.
yeah, she actually does photo shoots sometimes with a woman named Liz Wonder, who when she's all done up in Wonder Woman, I mean, she looks like Gal's double. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like you can almost not distinguish who's who when you actually see Liz. But they'll post pictures where they're at like hospitals talking to kids and everything. I mean, and that's really what it's all about. You know, it's about kids and just like bringing some happiness into the world, especially now. You know, with everything that's going on. So, I mean, I respect. I mean, I don't know how they pull off these costumes sometimes. Like you said, I mean, you have a team of people that are making you look like this character, and she's just, and then all of a sudden it's like, how did she achieve what she just achieved right there? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But also, I wanted to ask you too, since we've got Wonder Woman 84 coming out, which is great. Finally, cannot wait to see it. But then, how do you feel about Zack Snyder finally getting his version of Justice League out there that was meant to be seen with your character that's in there that has I hear an awesome scene that was, you know, in the theatrical version we saw a little bit, but apparently it wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. How do you feel that he's actually getting his movie out there?
Well, first of all, I am a huge fan of Zack.
Yes.
I mean, he is just an amazing visionary, and he deserves to get the film out that he planned. And I'm excited that he's getting to do that now. I'm also excited that, you know, he's had the time to recover from this unimaginable trauma that he went through. And I am impressed that he's unwilling to let go of this idea that he had despite what he has been through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am truly excited myself, just as a film buff, to see the film that he had in mind. I adore him and I adore his work. And I am excited to see his vision on the screen, albeit on the small screen this time. But at this point, a lot of people and a lot of the audience just have really wonderful home theaters. So I'm just hoping that as many people as possible will gather into their homes where their friends have the biggest screens and the best surround sound and go see it together and watch it. You know, and I do want to just again, is this a good time right now maybe to talk about Zack's charity as well? Zack, I adore you. You are so brave and such a beautiful person. And to you and your partner and your amazing family, just my heart goes out to you, and I am so incredibly impressed by your bravery. This is so hard to survive, and you guys are doing incredibly well. I also so appreciate that you and your family are working so hard to support other families who go through this horrible loss. And I want to also say to everyone who is out there to support any and all charities that support young and, people of any age who are finding it hard to live with the pressures occurring in their lives right now and finding it hard to talk about it. And I want to say, the more you talk about what you're feeling, the more you can get the support that you deserve and that you need. There's not just one way out of this. There are more ways. And I know that Zack and his family are working on making sure that when people are at their most desperate, that they remember that there is life after this moment of deep despair, and that there is support and love out there, even when it feels like there's nothing left. Death is not the only answer to this. And I know that there are people who do this much better than me. And I would like everybody to support the work of Zack, his family, and ASFP. Please. Thank you.
Choking me up, Connie. Choking me up. Very well said. Very well said. That's awesome. One last thing, and I really appreciate that. He's gonna love that. Hopefully, I'm gonna show that to him definitely. And so when it comes to, I actually wanted to ask you one more, like that's not a Wonder Woman question right here. Is you've worked with many directors. Obviously, you worked with Zack Snyder, Patty Jenkins a few times. You worked with Ridley Scott, Brian De Palma. Is there any specific movie shoot that like stands out for you, like in your career at all?
That's hard. I feel like I've had so many special experiences. I do think that doing Wonder Woman was extremely special. I do think that right now where we're starting to tell stories that are more inclusive and that allow for women to have a bigger part of the story. I do look forward to seeing those stories and participating in films that do put at the center also more inclusion. I just want more inclusion in our stories. That's what I'm looking for. And every time I've been on a set where we are inclusive that way, it makes me feel more human, and it makes me feel like there is a place where there's room for all of us and all of our stories. And I'm a white woman. I'd like there to be as many stories for everyone else on this planet, and that we just like make that effort to be that more inclusive and make sure like when we're casting and writing stories and financing and distributing films and TV, that we just make sure that the crew, the cast, and the storytelling viewpoint does not hide prejudices, but instead really works to include everybody. That's not a way of putting, undue political pressure on an artist. That's just a way of asking the artist to include the whole world in their story.
Well said. Yeah. There's like, nowadays it's like, there was an old guard. Now there's a new guard of the way that stories are being told. And it's pretty great. It's pretty great to see all these different stories, different perspectives. When it comes to the work that you've done, there's a movie that stands out for me that might not be like for everybody else, but I love the movie Basic that you did. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
That is an underrated gem for me. You and Travolta were you had great chemistry.
John is such a great guy. He's such a sweet man. I absolutely adore working with John. John is just fantastic. He's a great guy.
Yeah, that movie has all kinds of twists and turns. I mean, and it's centered around you two trying to figure it out. But then it's like, it's just like a whodunit military story. And when I first saw it, I mean, obviously it's from John McTiernan, who's the director of Die Hard, Predator, those kind of movies. But it's just like, it almost seems like that. Like when you talk about that movie, it's like, it's not on the radar of a lot of people, and it should be, because it's got great star power with you, Travolta, Jackson, Harry Connick Jr. I mean, it's got names for days. But it's just like I absolutely adored that movie when I first
it was meant to be a small indie.
Oh yeah,
it was meant to be just a small indie movie, and I think I think it just got confused, in the distribution. What kind of movie is this?
Yeah, and I could see that. I mean, especially when you're bringing you're bringing back. I mean, when it comes to Travolta and Jackson, I mean, when Pulp Fiction came out, it was like you saw those two together. We're bringing them two together again, and a lot of people might have been like, what kind of movie is this? What is this? But when you watch it, I mean, it is like so many twists and turns, and just you're trying to figure out who, what is going on here, and that's what I absolutely adore that movie. Also, with a movie that you were into with Robin Williams, 1 Hour Photo. That's a gem of a classic too. I mean, working with Williams must have been, I mean, that guy.
Robin was a truly beautiful human being, and I adored him. And I still adore his kids, and just his family was just such good people. And Marsha, just a great woman. Just that was a really special moment. And actually, just a little aside, I actually was invited to John Travolta's 50th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Where, in Mexico, that and John Travolta's wife had actually organized, and I had done another film with her, and it's so sad now. She's not here anymore, and Robin is not here anymore. But it was such a special trip, and we all flew down there on Dan Aykroyd's plane.
Wow.
And I sat at dinner there with Marsha and Robin, and it was and I don't know why I started talking about that. It was just such all these people like you were mentioning in those films, they kind of all came together.
That's pretty awesome.
In that and at that event, it was really lovely.
Well, just to have those memories. I mean, especially with the people that aren't around anymore. I mean, it was a huge shock when I heard that Kelly Preston passed away. I was like, wow. I mean, nobody really knew about it. I mean, and
she was such a gentle and genuine and kind and talented woman. I think a lot of people were incredibly shocked and sad to see such an untimely passing. She was so young still, and so much to do still. I treasured when she passed away. I treasured the time I had with her on a film here in Copenhagen, and my time spent with her offset as well, where she was just absolutely delightful and wonderful.
Yeah, sure she was. She seemed like a treasure. So, last question: what's next for Connie Nielsen? I mean, I know there was a mention from Patty Jenkins that she might do an Amazon spinoff. I don't know if, obviously, your character will probably be a part of that. I don't know if it's that or any other project.
Yeah, I've got Nobody coming up now, and then I have Close to Me, which is an incredible miniseries I've just wrapped in the UK that I absolutely think is going to be fantastic. I just had such an incredible experience telling that story. And a new project that I can't talk about right now because I'm superstitious. So until it's done, I'm not talking about it. So some really good stuff coming up, and I'm excited about it. Very excited about it.
Well, we're excited about it too. And like I said, guys, Wonder Woman is in theaters now in select spots around the country. China, East Africa, Japan, Nigeria, Spain, and Vietnam is today. And then, of course, when it comes to the United States, we'll be able to see it on Christmas Day. I think that's pretty awesome too, how we can all open up our presents and then we can enjoy Wonder Woman 84.
And then you can go and see the
exactly.
That's right.
But if you have a movie theater that's safe around and they're practicing all the nice protocols, then please go support Wonder Woman 84. Connie Nielsen, this has been fantastic. You're a delight. I appreciate you spending time with me today. And yes,
my pleasure. And just a shout out to the fans. And thank you all so much. And I hope you all are hanging in there. I think we just need a few months more for the vaccine to get around. Yep. I hope everybody signs up for the vaccine and that everybody stays safe. Thank you so much for all the support online. And thank you so much for I hope you all are going to tune in on the 25th and in the theaters I hope everyone, as we open up again, once the vaccine takes place, that everyone will go back and support the movie theaters. The theater owners are as desperate as our restaurant owners, and I hope everybody will really make an effort to bring their family and their friends to the movie theaters and to the restaurants once we start opening up again. And I send a huge hug and kiss to everybody and wish you all happy, happy holidays.
There you go. Connie Nielsen, everybody. Thank you very much again. All right.
Bye.
What? Did that just happen? Guys, did that just happen? Holy Lord. Whew. Man. Oh my God. How much of a delight was Connie Nielsen, guys? Holy Lord. Wow. Man. I mean, just even like rewatching it and listening to her. Oh my God. Woman is a saint. Oh, is it? Oh yeah. Sorry. I got to change the mic. I got to change the audio again. Hold on. Sorry. Up. There we go. Back. And we're back. We're good? All right. We're good now. Sorry about that. Oh. Yes. Oh yeah. Totally. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Jeez. Oh man. Well, I appreciate it, Rudy. Oof. Oh man, she's truly a queen. I mean, a king and queen. Well, thanks, guys. Cheers to you guys. That was truly, fantastic. I mean, you know what's funny too is, I mean, obviously she had a lot of great things to say about playing the character, of course, and everything. And then, like before we got started, I asked her, I'm like, hey, we're doing this thing on Sunday where we're trying to raise some money for Zack Snyder's, AFSP Foundation. We're trying to raise money for him. And would you be able to record like a message to Zack and then telling people to donate? I said it could be just really small. And then she just like right in the middle when she was talking about Snyder, she was just like, hey, can we just do it now? And I went, okay. And I just put her on full screen and then she just went at it. And it was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Oh my God. Ah, man. Take care. Take care, guys. Anybody who's leaving now. Woof, man. Got some tears in your nachos now, Jose. And I tell you what, I yeah, I just was like a quick message. I thought like, hey, Zack, blah, 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 and everybody donate. I was like thinking, do like a 10 to 15 second message. And she just was like, nope, I'm going to just take the floor, take the mic and just praise the man and praise the message. And that's what it's all about right there, folks, man. I tell you what. Yeah, I'm going to. Yes, Eric. That's exactly what I was going to do. Well, he said he's going to be watching tonight. So hopefully he got that message, but I'm going to clip that out and I'm going to play it on Sunday if he, because, it's a great message. It's really a great message. And I definitely want to make sure that he gets the message. It was 100% for him. And, yeah, I think that'll be great. I think that'll be absolutely great. But, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. I know the audio got a little wonky, certainly at some points and stuff like that. But it is with all this stuff now that people are just like interviewing over live streaming or Zoom or whatever the hell, not everything's going to be fantastic, but she was an absolute delight, just an absolute delight. And yeah, I was like, I was literally like out on my balcony, just like on social media and talking to people and stuff like that, just kind of listening obviously in, but man, whew, I tell you what. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed that. I'm glad you guys did. I'm glad you guys definitely did. And yeah, I had to bring, I know everybody was like, oh, got to ask about Gladiator. And I'm like, yeah, Gladiator's good. It's a great movie. It's iconic, obviously, won all kinds of awards. I get it. I love it. Good. But I was like, I want to talk about Basic and 1 Hour Photo. Those movies, man, those are some of the best movies right there. Her movies. I love those movies. Oops. All right. So I'm sending out some stuff. Whew. Yeah, all right. I already got some guys backstage, but yeah, again, thanks guys. Thanks for watching the interview. It was pretty fantastic, and just talk about a great woman. I mean, beautiful, just a beautiful woman, in and out. So, all right. So here we go. And let me do the right one here. Okay. All right. Let's get some panel people in here, huh? Let's do that. That's not the. Is that the right one? Yeah, it is the right one. Okay. All right. Here we go. We got Mr. Scott McClellan and we got Mr. Chris Wong Swenson. What is up, gentlemen?
Cheers to you, Dave. Congratulations.
Yes.
Incredible interview, and Zach and everything. Cheers to you, man. This is to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Man, I tell you what, that the Zack Snyder thing was a total last minute thing. I mean, we were already kind of securing him, you know, but it wasn't. We weren't sure. Like, okay, does he want to be secret about it? What does he want to do? You know, I told Chris that looks like we got him, and then all of a sudden, like 17 minutes. All right, we got Mr. Stephen Colbert. What's up, sir? Is your audio on?
Technical difficulties.
Once again, the quietest Steven will ever be.
Right.
Other than I almost didn't join at all because I was like not feeling well today. But
yeah, you're kind of
watching that Connie interview, I felt a lot better. So
right?
Dude, I know, but the Snyder thing. I mean, it literally, like, he hits me up and he goes, "Hey, you on?" And I'm like, "Well, in about 25 minutes." And then he's all, "You have a link?" And I was like, "Okay." And I sent him the YouTube link, and I was like, and then all of a sudden he just hits me up, and I'm like. And he goes, "Hey, I think it would be a good idea if I just showed up and we just promote it." I was like, "Okay, whatever you want, sir." Yeah. And yeah. So it was such a last minute thing. And I was just like, oh my God. I got so much going on with tonight's stream. This is insane. But yeah, Connie was great. Such a delight. My God. Scott, I noticed you're in a different spot. Why is that, sir? I mean, I already know. Because I listened to your last episode. I listened to your last episode of Squadcast, by the way. Cheers. With you and Tim, and you explained it, or he actually asked you too why you're in a different spot.
Oh yeah, because Tim will never pass up an opportunity to give me crap. I mean, it's the relationship that we have after 5 years. But well, I mean, anyone who was watching last week's episode saw it happen live. I mean, Callum totally was just thinking, "Hey, let me grab at Daddy's beer bottle and spill the whole dang thing on Daddy's laptop," which then would not turn on the next morning.
Yeah, so he was fast with that.
Yeah, we saw the aftermath of that, which was a bunch of rice in a bag. Yeah. And it was just funny because Steven, of course, perfectly had like 4 screenshots of everything that happened, the different faces of both of you. It was a perfect 4 pictures that just explained everything that happened.
Oh, but the best thing was looking at Callum's face, because that first panel had that little side grin he has that's like, "I'm gonna do something," and then you get all the way to the last one where I have that face of, "Well, shit," and he's got that.
Essentially that.
Yes, and then he has that face like.
Yeah. It was a beautiful moment. It was definitely.
So the rice didn't work. Is that what you're trying?
No, well, shout out. I forgot to shout out on Squadcast because we just had so much going on last week, and I was in a different setup and like brain fun. But shout out to Jason over at DC on Screen. They're another great DC podcast who live 20 minutes away. And I drove out to his house and we spent about an hour, and he took my computer apart, tried some last minute resuscitation. And the best we got was it would power on, but it would not boot up. And so $1,700 later, I've ordered another computer.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, no. My wife was pretty much, she was very understanding. She's like, she called it my livelihood. I'm like, oh, that's sweet, honey. Right? No, that's I make nothing from this. And no, I wish, but she went, honey, I love you. This is your thing. You need a computer, but also Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, and Merry Christmas 2021. And probably, and she probably also forgot Happy Anniversary in there somewhere.
Makes sense.
So I'm waiting right now. I'm expecting that on January 7th. So nice. I'm having to spend the holidays I record, funny enough, on the same computer that once I stopped recording off an iPhone, I was recording off the living room computer, which was the one where it was really funny because my kids would sneak up behind me and scare the shit out of me in the middle of the episode. And then for YouTubing, I've got my wife's Surface, and this is, well, if you couldn't tell, the kitchen. So
yeah, different background than usual. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was great. Now you're a lot closer too. So yeah, see them nose hairs. We got Mr. John Aaron Garza joining the. Hey, what's up, bud?
Matching shirts.
I know we got the same shirt. Finally, I got it. Not just drinking a holiday cheer shiner.
There you go. Cheers, man.
If there's any beer drinkers, so
yeah, you know me. Well, you know me. But yeah, guys. What were your thoughts on the interview? Like stuff that she said. I mean, obviously we talked a little bit about it, but anything stand out?
She was just super chill. I mean, I was expecting it to be more like traditional interview, but like she really got down with the vodka stream vibe.
Oh, dude, like it was funny because I was like, okay, obviously I'm not going to drink right now. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, even though it's like, I would, but, and then all of a sudden she goes like, well, I have red wine. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to drink, I'm going to go ahead and pour a drink then. And I was like, she ran to the kitchen, poured some vodka. And I was like, all right, we're drinking.
She's like, all right, the guy that is interviewing me is drinking at 11 a.m. Okay, let's see.
Oh, you know what she goes? It was funny. She goes, oh, wow, I haven't done that since I was like 20. I was like, I'm all about the craft. I'm all about the craft, you know.
Was she in the same time zone? Or was she nighttime?
No, she's in Denmark.
She's in Denmark. Oh, okay.
She's Danish.
Yeah, so she was 9 hours ahead. 9 hours.
9 hours.
You should have asked her about Heidi Klum, dude.
Huh?
God damn, man. You should have asked her about Heidi Klum. That'd have been my first fucking question.
Of course it would have been.
What got me, Dave, was just the genuineness and how she is obviously just such an authentic, beautiful soul that just sort of like just radiated during the interview. And and to Steven's point about getting down with the vodka stream vibe, it's just so nice to see an interview where you feel like you're actually getting to know the real person and not some sort of pre-packaged press tour kind of thing. And so it's not a junket, right? And so that's what really just struck me was I feel like I kind of know her a little bit more now, and I like what I got to know.
Yeah, she like opened it up by just like showing her living room and her Christmas tree, and like, we're just chilling Friday nights, whatever, and then just went right into it. It was pretty great. And now we got Shiraz and we got Mr. Ben Everett joining.
Hey,
how's it going, guys?
Going good.
Brought up the fact that she plays Wonder Woman's mother, and Russell Crowe, who was in Gladiator, is Kal-El's father. I thought you would have brought that up.
Okay, I knew. If anybody was gonna bust my balls on what I didn't do right, it was gonna be Garza.
No. I would have asked. You didn't mention. No. I just meant that because you didn't mention Gladiator at all. Like that's kind of like I thought. He's gonna ask about Gladiator, and all of a sudden you just pulled the other
1 hour photo. Great pull.
Yeah, I was like,
I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like I mean Gladiator's great. I love Gladiator. It's a great movie. Obviously, it's it's an iconic flick. It's everything. But I was like, everybody's gonna always ask about that movie. Right. I'm like, I want to talk about Basic because I love that movie and that nobody's like pretty much seen. I mean, it's just I don't know if you guys see it.
I love Basic, man.
Okay,
I haven't seen it, but it's on the list now.
Watch it. Yeah, and then of course 1 hour photo.
I thought What? I thought you were bringing up John Travolta because you were going to pull up that fucking clip. Like, fuck!
Oh, I should have.
I thought you were setting up that entire time.
That
That's why I
was
was
sweet,
like,
Dave.
oh,
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
exactly. That's all. The whole time I was like, dude, when is he gonna bring that shit?
I didn't want to do any drops. I was like, I just didn't want to do any drops when she was there. I was like, not really thinking about the drops. But yeah, that would have been pretty hilarious. What's going on, Shiraz? How you doing?
Man, it's going well. I just want to congratulate you. What a great interview, honestly. And the one word that just stuck out to me was just genuine. Like, it was a genuine interview and a genuine conversation. And when she started talking about Zack and AFSP and like those words of advice, I mean, I think that touched anyone, whether you're even a fan of any of these movies or not. Like, that's something that came from the heart, and anyone could be down for it. So, if that's just a preview of the kind of stuff we'll be getting this Sunday, I really think we could raise a lot of money. But kudos to you, man, because these last few weeks, last few months, you've been on fire, on a roll. So you've been doing some good stuff. It's onwards and upwards, you know.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I mean, geez, hey, yeah, it's been pretty gnarly. I mean, like I said, when I was like, okay, now I got Snyder going to be like doing an intro for my show. I'm like, I don't know what the hell. Where am I right now? I'm like, where did I get to? How did I get to this place? I can't recognize it. Cheers, guys, for the donations and the kind words. I appreciate it. But yeah, I know it's pretty crazy. But yeah, thank you, Shiraz, and I appreciate that, especially coming from you because of all the success that you've achieved for yourself. I mean, it's particularly it's I really appreciate that, man. Totally. And
of course.
Yeah, Sunday should be fun. I guess
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Well, sure. Can I ask you about this? Can I? You know, and Ben, welcome, by the way. Ben.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, how's it going?
I know I'm the cock.
You're
the
episode.
You're
the crotch.
It's okay.
It's all right. I wanted to ask Shiraz this because I was very, very, very curious about it. Like, what are your thoughts with not only the investigation ending and Ray Fisher coming out and speaking about it, but the fact that Josh Whedon loses another gig,
right?
Because like I feel like it's like I know you wouldn't do it because we know how you are. I know I would. I would be petty as fuck, being like, "Yo, Josh, how many gigs you gonna fucking lose? Remember whenever you attacked me and my shit at with Forbes? Yeah, okay, let's go, dude. Let's roll." I don't know. How do you feel?
Right. I mean, honestly, just from watching it from afar, I think what we expected to happen did happen. And, I've always said from the beginning, but I stood by my reporting the whole time and what I was saying. And anything that happened behind the scenes on that might stay behind the scenes for a little while, but slowly some of the training wheels are coming off and I'm being a little more open. And you're going to see more openness as we keep going along the process. But you saw like yesterday I tweeted something, just a little bit of a reminder that I'm still here. I'm still keeping an eye on everything that's going on. Even though it wasn't 100% on brand for me, I thought let me just put it out there, be a little honest for a second. But in terms of what I thought about the investigation, honestly, like I said, it's more or less what we expected. I think the most thing that I think was most impressive was that 80 people were interviewed. I think the fact that so many people, and this is not just from Justice League, this is from across the board of people, and there's names that even you wouldn't expect that, this person also interviewed, this person also interviewed from various different shows connected to different people. Wow. So the fact that so many people came through and kind of gave their testimony, that's the only thing, because at the end of the day, it's not like a personal thing. It was the fact that I wanted to get a story out, and the story did come out, and that whatever the story repercussions were on the investigation or whatever the case might be, well, that plays out on its own without me being in that picture. But my own thoughts on it, I can't say I was surprised. I mean, I think what happened had to happen, but I'm excited to see what happens next. I mean, when you hear the word remedial action, right away you're going to think multiple things, but I would say give it the next 2-3 weeks to see some of these things start to play out in a more public scale.
I'm very interested personally just in honestly watching how Warner Media as the organization chooses to communicate or not communicate, or like how do we in the public get the message about what the consequences are? I mean, that's That's going to be interesting just from a spectator standpoint of we've kind of watched this thing play out as it was going on, but now it's okay. When the dominoes fall, how public are parts of it? What do we actually get to hear? Who do we hear it from? That's more just going to be kind of interesting sort of gamemanship to watch to see how it gets handled. Obviously, probably waiting till after a significant press window has expired for Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, that's one of the things too, is like, you know, as much as like they want to like talk about all this. I mean, even when Gal was approached about it, you know, she gave a little bit of something, but she was like, you could tell, I guess, with her quote that she didn't want to talk about any like specific details. She talked about an experience that wasn't the best one, and that's essentially it. But I could totally understand why she would just try to divert from that question, because she's trying to promote a movie right now. You know, the first movie that's coming out on a streaming service the same day as it's releasing in theaters, this whole new era that's going on. So obviously you don't want to like dilute the whole, you know, marketing with any of that, even though I think that would actually a little bit help. I don't know. But what were you going to say, Steven?
Well, I think it's interesting because I don't know if it was her intent necessarily, but you can put together a few kind of breadcrumbs from the various things that came out. One of which was she said she participated in the investigation. Yeah. The other was that she said she had an issue with Joss, and she reported it appropriately and it got handled. Now that's a different story from what Ray told. Not contradicting Ray's story, but it's showing like she has a little bit more pull. You know, she's Wonder Woman, right? She's coming off of a $700 million movie, and had a sequel in the works. And so if Gal Gadot says Joss Whedon is a problem, they're going to take it seriously. We also know, and I think she said that she was not on set, but we know there were multiple scenes from her that were reshoot scenes. And so one of the things that's kind of been out there, but I think that this corroborates, is that maybe I'm assuming that whatever it was that she reported that was then handled, which is going to be on file then when the investigation happens. The action that they took at the time was to not require her to film in person with Joss, which was, I believe, what the claim was, that we'd heard that she refused to work with him in person, so they did everything remote or something because of whatever it was that he did.
We saw those images that were kind of floating around too of Affleck and her. Obviously, they were supposed to be in the same scene, but they weren't filmed at the same time. Which because of
just so I know, and I know y'all always point to that scene, but in that scene there is a behind the scenes footage of them together in that scene for a reshoot. So
that's weird.
That must have been the time that they were doing something, and then the incident happened. And then they had to refilm that because something didn't work. Because I've seen behind the scenes footage, and you guys know me, I scoured that fucking thing. They were both there in that situation. Because there's like, you see this guy like just standing there by him, like right next to him, and it's the hangar scene. So I don't know if that was early or what. And that would also mean that Ben Affleck was involved with whatever the fuck happened with Gal Gadot. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Because
never thought about that.
So just a heads up.
It's going to be interesting, but it's great how, you know, Whedon loses another job for a company, and then all of a sudden that same company hires on Fisher. Wasn't Freeform or like ABC or what? It was
ABC. Was Ray Fisher is on an ABC limited series about he's playing Emmett Till's who would have been Emmett Till's stepdad had Emmett Till.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Now, just a question to remove it off of that, because it's something that Dave and both Chris have talked about. And I'm kind of curious myself, because we've all been saying it now that we all kind of feel like Justice League is probably not going to be a series anymore. It's going to be a film to come out. Yeah. But I'm curious because, you know, like Connie Nielsen, I mean, she got paid because she was in Justice League, right? So I wonder how it works now that it's coming out again as either a film or a series or whatever, like how that pay structure works. And because both of you guys, I didn't notice this. I think Chris had mentioned it, that because of the way that you get paid as a series versus a movie, that could have been a determining factor of what happened. Like, what do you guys think?
From my understanding, the threshold is at 4. I think once you hit 4 parts to something, it counts as a miniseries, and then the whole structure changes significantly. And from my understanding, funny enough, that there is some relation to the stuff that's been happening broadly with Warner Media and the theatrical HBO Max stuff, that no one wants to do them any favors anymore. And what used to be considered like, okay, we're going to look at this way, we're going to look at this way for the chapters. Well, some of those privileges actually were taken away, from my understanding, again, from the process, which actually made them look back and say, okay, in the end of the day, whether series or not, this is something that HBO wanted for the betterment of their streaming service. But so it's a twofold thing. Some of it was a necessity, but also just the nature of the model now, that if you have 1718, Stephen wrote a great article about it himself, when you have so many releases now coming out every 3 weeks, it's no longer needed to break this up in general. So he can speak on that. But the bit I heard was that this is related to the stuff that's been happening broadly with Warner Media and theaters and their relationship with studios, executives, agents, all that stuff. And then also just the fine-tuned nitty-gritty of pay structure between a series versus one feature film.
Yeah, see, that's what I was told too. Is like the pay structure. It's all, it gets too crazy when it's episodic, and and then all of a sudden it was just like, that does make sense. It's like, and then now, mixed in with the whole, the dual release and everything. It's like it's not needed anymore, especially if they have all these films that they're going to be trying to put on there. We don't need 4 weeks, even though we all were totally down for that. I mean, it would have been fun to show up here on Friday and just all come together and just kind of, pardon the pun, and just talking about that what happened on the episode and everything like that. But it's whatever. He teased IMAX earlier this week, which looked. Oh yeah, I know. We all were licking our chops when we saw that.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I'm hoping we get that black and white version and everything. And I mean, I don't know what's happening in California, but I might be showing up to one of your guys' places just to freaking be like, hey.
I keep telling you that futon has your name on it, Dave. It has your name on it.
There's an air mattress here with your name on it. Well,
there you go.
I have my name on it tonight because I'm going to drink. Because I've been drinking and I snore a lot, and my wife already told me sleep in the air mattress.
There it is. There it is.
But hey guys, I would have
that's rough.
Yeah, it's okay. Take one for the team.
All I know is that I was telling my dad about it when I found out the news, because I just like, this is the thing. It's like, for a movie, my dad loves long movies. I mean, we went to all the Lord of the Rings movies together, and I'm like, 4 hours. I just hope there's an intermission because I am going to need. I'm going to need a pee break. I'm sorry. I'm knocking on 40. It's gonna happen.
No, there's no way there's not an intermission if it's 4 hours.
And like I even said on DC Film Squadcast, it's like it'd even be great for the theaters, because it's like let's go out to the lobby.
Yeah. I remember you saying that. You saying that on the last episode. I'm like, I know that. I know exactly what you're talking about. That'd be awesome if he puts that in there.
Oh my god! Well, it's like go get some food, go get some drinks. Because once again, what do theaters make most of their profit margin off of? The concessions. Give me an excuse to go and buy more food.
Ben, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to ask, because this is something that we discussed in the Real Emotion podcast. And
I need another beer. Sorry.
Because they already moved Mortal Kombat to a different date. Being that they're putting all these movies out next year, and there's no real. I know there's already a slate with specific dates. Do you guys think that they're gonna reshuffle all this stuff around to fit better to whatever it is that they're trying to achieve with the streaming service?
What do you think, Chris?
Sorry,
it's all right. I know
the kids are just.
Oh, you just you muted it. They're too loud. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shiraz, you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, the main thing is when you put it out there, you made this big slate release. Here's all the 17 movies that are coming out on each side. So it's, again, when you backtrack, it's going to look like, okay, you're don't know what you're doing and stuff like that. But it's inevitable that some projects here and there might move depending how the beginning films do. And they're going to be keeping an eye on each release and then see how it goes along. So I think I think the first 3 to 4 months of the year, I think we can be pretty good with the schedule. But those latter, as we get closer to winter 2021, I think that's where we got to keep an eye on what's going to move, what's not going to move. It's going to be interesting. I'm honestly not even sure how it's gonna go because people are angry. So who knows what's going on with each situation. Every day is going to be new.
People are angry. I mean, we heard Tom Cruise, but that's a totally different story. What were we gonna say, Ben?
No, I was gonna ask Steven his opinion because
he's quiet.
Yeah, he's too quiet today.
You'll need to refresh me on the question.
Well, now I know who's not.
The fuck out!
Now I know who doesn't
I
listen.
think I know what it was, but I got distracted, and
now I know who's muting me when I'm talking.
Oh, Steven!
I don't want to give
Steven's sick. We all know how that. Your brain goes to fog. Come on, give the man a break.
No,
foggy right now.
What I was asking is, do you think that HBO Max or they're gonna reshuffle some of those movies around to fit something that is more cohesive to the streaming platform?
Yeah, definitely. Because if you look at the fundamental decision behind what they did, they're basically cannibalizing Warner Brothers slate in order to serve the needs of the streaming service. So I don't know where everything is going to slot into, but they're going to restructure everything so that you have a once a month or a few of them will be a couple times a month to spread it out over the course of the whole thing. And I know that wasn't the reason behind changing Zack Snyder's Justice League from a series to a movie, but I feel like that is going to have an impact on that also, where that might give it more credence to kind of follow like all the other movies and also get a limited theatrical alongside its streaming release, just because that's kind of, they don't need to fill that time anymore, because when they originally put that out there, they're like, look, we don't have enough content in the pipeline, and so we'll give this and we'll stretch it out over 4 weeks. That'll help us out a little bit there. And now they're like, you know what, no, we're just going to repurpose all of this other original content. And then they're like, well, I guess we don't really need this to be a series anymore, and on top of that, we can now release it in theaters because we've got all of our bases covered when it comes to new content on a regular interval.
I have a question, because I don't know if they would do this or not, but I'm spitballing here because it's going to be a long ass movie. it just is. And I'm also curious about if there's any consideration because of its length. I know normally you pay a movie, whether it's a 90-minute movie or a 3-hour movie, you pay the same price for any ticket. But I'm thinking about a movie that possibly that from what we can gather, probably is going to have an intermission. That means it's going to take up more time. I know I would be more willing to pay a little extra for a movie ticket, especially for a movie that's going to take up 2 movies worth of time.
Movies out in theaters, though. You got to remember that.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I'm getting 4 hours worth of theatrical content. I'm saying that as a consumer, I'm going to go watch this sucker in IMAX. So put it on my freaking IMAX screen. That's 10 minutes that way, because I'll pay the premium for that. And if there's an added premium just because of the nature of the release and the length of the release, sure, I will pay that. I'm sure I would not be surprised if something like AMC took something like this and excluded it from the A-list subscription, because they do that. They exclude certain releases like Fathom events and something where you can't use your 3 movies a week. But once again, screw that. I will pay the money.
No, I think it'll probably be inflated a little bit. I mean, like you said, it's a 4-hour plus movie. I would not be surprised if it's not. Like I said, intermission. So you're probably going to be there for 5 hours, with previews and whatever the hell they put in front of it, and then intermission. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 4.5, 5 hours, and I would not be surprised they inflated a little bit.
It's kind of hard to inflate something that's already you can get on HBO Max. I would
Yeah,
say
that's true,
we
too.
try to get people to come to theater, and the only thing that they have difference is we got a big screen. We got
And remember,
But
they're not
someone-
making their
someone like
money.
me is-
They're not making
but-
their money on the ticket price
like
in the
you,
first place
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, true. Didn't think about
So,
that.
Well, now with the
so like
rumor
you said with
that
the
they're gonna slash it.
intermission, their biggest interest in that would be the intermission probably, because that they make their money on the
Concession
snacks,
stand.
and so if they can get people to double dip on this, or get those people who are normally like, I don't need a drink or popcorn, and then halfway through the movie they're like, ah, damn, I should have gotten that popcorn.
Yeah.
And then
I've
the
been
movie's gonna be
dreaming
like,
of
guess
that.
what?
Yeah.
You can go get it now during the intermission. And
Well,
they're-
and to be honest, without an intermission, this would be something like, give me a Lord of the Rings or an Endgame where I like go into a fast like an hour before the movie starts because I don't want to have to get up. I don't eat or drink an hour before.
Yep.
I go to the bathroom right before I walk into the theater, and then I don't eat or drink a thing. If you give me intermission, I'll buy it before the movie starts. I'll go to the bathroom during the intermission. I'll buy some more to get me through the last 2 hours. It's like I'm speaking as someone who wants to, shut up and take my money. This is how you get more of my money out of one visit.
Yeah.
Well, what's fascinating about all of that is that we're even talking about it when it comes to Zack Snyder Justice League, right? I mean, the fucking fact
it's
that
a flashback to like a year ago. It'd be like,
I know,
next
dude.
year we'll be debating how much snacks we're gonna buy at the IMAX screening in the middle of a pandemic. Like, wait, what?
like remember, we all thought in general, right? We were all like, I even said it. I know that there's podcasts on The Real Emotion, which yes, I plugged it because I wanted to drink, but I'll finish it. And where we talked about like Zack Snyder's Justice League cannot be a theatrical release because you have all these films that are coming out that you can't, you're not going to be able to fit in. And all of a sudden, it's kind of like it's reversed. Yeah, it's like it's been reversed, and it's like, no, we easily could put a 4-hour fucking film. Like, remember, we were all saying Warner Brothers would never release a 3.5-hour film, and now HBO Max and Warner Media is going 4 hours. Done.
Yeah, you will.
Let's go ahead and release it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm also curious about how much of like the decision to go 4 hours, because like we know, per what Zach has said, and the Hollywood Reporter also said this, that he basically pitched it as, because that's how we've been over this a million times, that's how it gets monetized. And so it got budgeted, and I assume additional photography and stuff, all with the intention of turning it into a series. And so I'm wondering how much of that extra stuff that we're getting was done with the assumption that it was going to be a series, and like if they had known that they were going to end up going back on that and turn it back into a full movie, if they would have just gone with like the 214-minute version from the beginning.
Right. Well, I'll just say this, and I don't know. It strikes me as this, and you guys, you tell me what you think, because if I'm not mistaken, AT&T wanting to buy Warner Brothers, that was probably in talks, maybe 2015, maybe 2016. They were getting the word of, and you would think that the talent, specifically anybody that's making a movie during this transition, would probably know about it, right? And so, imagine Zach probably thinking, well, maybe AT&T. The reason why they're wanting to buy this is because they're probably going to want a streaming service. So, I could potentially make this into a longer form narrative, right? A series, quote unquote, without really talking to Warner Brothers about it, because by the time it comes out, which is what happened, AT&T would own them, right? I mean, do you think that that's how he was thinking about it? Because
I think if I recall correctly, what he said on the Real Emotion live stream that we were all on, I think that what he said was that it was kind of like his vision, because this movie is so big, that he was envisioning like the ultimate edition of Justice League, instead of being like another movie, to be like an HBO. He actually specifically said HBO series at the time. And I think he said, did he mention that other movies like used to get cut up that way, or they'd get like the bigger TV releases? I know that he said something along those lines.
I know he said that like you know, Superman already has an origin story. BVS is 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he was like, and we're bringing in more characters. So
Right.
he knew it was going to be a long film.
Well, then we can't
But
forget
what
too.
you're referencing is like things like Superman the movie from '78 or the Godfather saga, where when they put it on television, there are entire scenes that are exclusive to only that version that aired.
Oh yeah, to
on
make it
TV.
longer or shorter. Yeah.
Well, and usually those aren't. That's the opposite situation where it's like they wanted. Well, I guess it's not the opposite because those scenes are in there because they wanted to fill it out more for like commercials.
Yeah.
But typically those cuts are seen as like those were deleted scenes for a reason.
Superman '78 is that reason. I'll tell you that. I've seen that 3-hour TV version. Yeah.
This is a joke, but when we were talking about intermission, I'm like, what will be the intermission in Zack Snyder's Justice League? Is it when Steppenwolf's axe comes down on Batman and goes, fuck? And then
Stay tuned. Yeah.
It's fuck.
I mean, I can only imagine him where he's gonna say that fucking bomb. Like in my head, I'm going. It's got to be like right before they like go and battle Steppenwolf for the final.
The thing is when they get their ass handed to them the first time. I think he gets a lot of frustrations. Like, fuck, we got.
Well, is it going to be like an emotional? Like, is it going to be something he says like to fire up the team, or is it going to be like in BVS where he's like, "Oh shit,"
React.
He couldn't get the job done.
I mean, I tweeted out that night. I was just like, he's going to say it to the Joker. Come on.
Well, I mean, but
kill you.
You got a sense about when he was in that Entertainment Weekly article that it felt like it was part of the nightmare, the additional photography for the nightmare, because he was. That seemed to be the conversation he was having when he talked about that, and then he refers to and then the rest of the movie deals with very serious stuff. I know some Amazons are getting chopped in half. You
actually have Terrio's dialogue, which I know is Terrio's dialogue. You cannot give me you can't tell me that Johns rewrote it or Whedon came up with the shit of where he's like, yeah, child, my axe is still slick with the blood of your sisters. Like, dude, that is a full-on Terrio line. And if that's the case, we're going to be fucking seeing them. I mean, big time.
Well, and going back to the question you asked Connie, that whole battle sequence was already one of the better sequences in the Justice League. But imagine the pure unadulterated version with the OG Steppenwolf design and those Amazons getting to have a fully fleshed out, not chopped up to fit into a 2-hour run time kind of action sequence. I mean, that's going to be like a solid 10, 15. I mean, like that's going to go on.
It's going to be pretty big.
No. That starts at like the 23 mark in the real film.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's how early that scene starts. Like, imagine that, right? That's what's crazy about it.
He's gonna drop the F-bomb when Sam Benjamin shows up at his door. Figured it out right there. Okay, we heard it here first. Exclusivo.
I think if Sam Benjamin shows up, we're all gonna collectively say "fuck."
Oh man,
that's so
funny, dude. If Sam Benjamin was Green Lantern, I'd delete my Twitter. I would quit Little Anarchy, and I would literally leave social media. Let me put it down, dude. Yeah, I'm gone if he's Green Lantern. That's a concert.
But and speaking of the intermission, though, how beautiful is it going to be? Would it be great for? Because back in the old movies like Gone with the Wind and those old musicals when they had intermissions, music played the entire time.
Imagine Zack telling
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai is like 3.5
Imagine
hours.
Zack telling Junkee that he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need an interlude from you."
I mean, it's one of those that you almost don't want to leave the theater because you want to sit there and listen to whatever score is playing. And I got thinking about that because the Wonder Woman 1984 score dropped this week, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I felt like that guy in that episode of The Boys this season where it was like, oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I might have to get that drop.
please,
You should.
please.
Yeah,
Yes.
Why wouldn't you?
drop. That's a good one. Write that one down.
Cut Donna 7. Here we go. Yeah, dude, he's literally explaining a fucking Zack Snyder Justice League film. Like, dude, come on, man. Now, I think, for me personally, I think the intermission is going to be great. I think it'll end probably at the second time that they get their ass handed to. Because remember, if this is going to be 4 hours and this is Seven Samurai, you know, instead of them getting denied the other heroes, they're just going to go and try to find the. They're going to find the nest, get their ass handed to. They're going to go again and do something else, right? Probably the Superman resurrection, get their ass handed to them, and then that'll be the intermission. Because up till then, you still don't even have Steppenwolf like really attacking the league.
Another thing is like what was kind of outshined. If you reread that article, he does talk about Cyborg kind of being pissed off at society. I think he was maybe alluding to that we're not just getting one F-bomb. We might be getting two F-bombs.
more.
One from Cyborg also.
Well, there's more. What there's obviously in BVS there's one, right?
Yeah.
Technically there's two if you have the subtitles on. When Caesar is like, you know, just got the brand, he says fuck. You barely can hear it, but if you have the subtitles on, he says fuck. So it's whatever.
I missed that one.
Well, it's like whenever the cop is walking up the stairs, he's like, like he says it under his breath, but you still whatever. Anyways,
How many fucks can you say in it before he's rated R? Because I know all the X-Men.
I'm gonna say one.
One. Because I know X-Men.
No, you get one in PG-13.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
Once you hit two, okay, it's
No, I think I've seen PG-13 get 2 or 3 in before.
Depends on the
X-Men movie.
Depends on the aggressiveness of the fuck.
Yeah, a lot of the X-Men movie had the they say
Well,
fuck.
that was because they were all PG-13 and you got one. But Steven's right. I have seen a PG-13 movie get to. Once again, it's the MPAA. There are no it's all wishy-washy.
No consistency.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back when learning about why BVS, the ultimate version, was R, reading up on some of the stuff with that, and like, obviously, I think the PG-13 version was close enough to R anyway. But but I read something that like there's weird stuff like a kick to the head. Like if someone gets kicked in the head, it can often be like an automatic. Yeah. Even if it's and so that's why often in PG-13 you'll get like implied violence or like it'll cut right before someone hits because like if you see that foot connecting with the head, that's an R. Or
Well,
like
it's
if you see a blood splat when they hit the wall, that's an R. On like.
And in the UK, I remember hearing about with their rating system in the UK that headbutts are because of football. Headbutts tend to get you like what you're talking about, like a kick to the head. It's like what a headbutt is because that's one of those football moves that can cause some damage too. So it's all sorely subjective as in. And it's also whatever group gets invited to watch that movie and how that group audience decides to feel about the rating. It's
well, that's why I said it's like how aggressive it is. I think if you go back and watch Get Shorty with John Travolta, they actually talk about this specific thing, like what passes when because obviously that whole movie is based on making a movie. And they talk about there's like a whole scene. It's actually a pretty good scene. I think it's between him and Vito, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but they actually talk about how many fucks you're allowed to say in a movie. And I think they talk about how aggressive it is, like what type it is to get if they could pass 2. It has to be like one can't be aggressive or something. I don't know. It's a good scene. That's weird. Wow, somebody. What is that?
That's Shiraz, I'm sure.
New York.
New York.
Hey,
New York.
Can we just say that now I know Dave has said it probably after me, but whatever. I
mean,
know Steven has said it. And I know Steven's probably said it, but probably after me as well. Because I know for a fucking fact nobody said this in here before I was like, yeah, I think this is when it's going to be. That it was probably going to come out in March. Okay, so fuck all of you guys. He's gonna say that y'all all said it
Come
first.
on.
And I know when I said it, I was like, nope, I'm dropping the date, which I may be off a couple of days. That's fine. I still put it out there on Twitter, March 28th, because I said Sunday, right?
See,
So-
this is what
Well,
I'm
we
saying.
knew. We just don't. We can't always
I
say
already
it right
told
when we
you.
plan.
Everybody got that?
I already told him this. Remind me never to be in a foxhole with you because
Yeah.
I actually
I never want to be in a foxhole with Garza. That's like you need to get that on a t-shirt.
I'm good at that.
All I know is
Exactly.
that I need it at the end of March because I needed spring break right around my birthday.
It will be.
I need to be able to go see this movie and already be off of work so that the next day I can just be like, screw this. No.
It'll be the last week. It'll be the last week.
Well,
I think
so
we all should
I
do this.
wanna
I
say
think we
this,
should
though.
all watch it in IMAX and then come here or the Real Emotions, since I'm putting it out there, and share our thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Not non-spoiler,
I
of course,
wanna-
because it's gonna be on the streaming
I
for a
want to
while.
say this though, and I want to bring it up, and I want to ask you guys this though. Okay, so now, yes, there's a meaningful date. You know, March 25th is when BVS came out, and it originally that's kind of like the big date. But keep in mind, okay, now I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to get too emotional or personal about it, but I know that the 1st is his birthday, but this month, that March, also is when Autumn, took her life.
Yep.
So I don't know if he would. I don't know if he'd want it closer to that date or if he'd want it, near, like on that date or just because I don't know. Like for me personally, like you guys all know. Like I know with my daughter's date, like I feel a little weird doing anything on my daughter's date other than just celebrating her life and all of that. But I can't imagine like releasing this big of like a personal film on a day like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I think,
What do you guys think?
are they consistent? Do they have? Scott always knows this. I know, like the flight attendant is really the only thing I've watched like as it comes out, which is
It comes out on
awesome. By the way,
I need to watch. That's gonna be the next.
does
now-
everything drop on
really good.
Thursdays?
Everything,
Max, yes.
everything that is a Max original has dropped on Thursdays. Everything
Okay.
else that is co-aired on HBO proper drops on whatever day it is airing on HBO.
And they called it Max
okay.
Original for Justice League,
Just Sunday.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
But
Because the
that-
25th is a Thursday.
It is a Thursday.
Right.
So, but once again, that's where you get into that question of if it's
Here's a movie.
a Max original, but if we're transitioning from the series into it being a movie. Now, Max original movies have dropped before, and those dates have been, I'm trying to remember, I think The Witches did drop on a Thursday, but I'm trying to remember, I think movies have kind of had a little bit more flexibility. I need to look up American Pickle. Actually, I think I might do that right now while we're talking.
I'm looking for it too.
Also,
because
if
it's
it
going
gets a
up
simultaneous theatrical,
simultaneous.
that would also be on a Thursday, like the 25th.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like it's
So-
right there. Like if because that's when I would go to the movies is every Thursday, but it would have to be like early, I guess. I don't know, because if they're gonna do 7:00 screenings like I would always go to, I don't know if they're gonna drop it at like. It's gonna be interesting to see that now that I think about it.
Like Wonder
of course-
Woman 1984 drops on a Friday, but because it's
Right,
theaters, you
there's a-
see it
there's
afternoon
Thursday.
on Thursday. Right?
Yeah, but it's
I
Christmas.
think it's because of Christmas.
Christmas.
Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe
they'll
that's
drop it
what
on Christmas. Christmas Day movies, from what I'm, of course, my problem with Christmas Day movies is that I have never gone to the theater
Yeah.
on Christmas Day. I mean, like I'm still. It's why Wonder
Oh, I have. Yeah.
I've done Christmas Eve.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even go Christmas Eve because I have family. Like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are family days, which is why when I go see Wonder Woman 1984, I'll be watching it first on HBO Max. That will be my first experience because I will watch it on Christmas Day, and then I'll go see it in the theaters on the 26th because that's the first quote free day I have to go see it. And then, of course, record the review for DC Film Squadcast.
There you go. Cheers. And I get to watch it on the 22nd. So
Oh, 22nd.
Yep.
Like a bitch.
Sweet.
So I guess, but also, Stephen, to your point, with all of this, because I never stay up that late, I don't know with the Max Originals, what is that drop time? Because like with HBO shows, I remember like with HBO, it used to be the hour that it aired on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
You could like was immediately so like when Game of Thrones would come on at 7 o'clock on a Sunday,
yeah,
I could watch it right then and watch it on the app. With these Max Originals, I'll be honest, I've never stayed up with Flight Attendant or Raised by Wolves or any.
Raised by Wolves. It would be literally like, okay, it's there, it's on. The next day, it's on.
I mean,
right, but I'm saying, but like if I stayed up overnight, when does it drop? Because like Mandalorian is like 3 a.m. Eastern. Netflix stuff is 3 a.m. Eastern. Because some of those I've stayed up to like see like when does this drop? And I know some things. I think Daredevil on Netflix, I think one time like dropped like at midnight because like I stayed up late enough to actually watch season 1 of Daredevil. So I don't know what the drop time is. Like how late do you have to stay up if you want to watch it like as soon as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of wondering that too, because I mean, I've never done that either. But now that I have I've had Fridays off the past couple of weeks. Like I was going to watch the last Mandalorian. I'm like, does it show up at 9 for me? 10? I don't even know. I kept checking, and it was like not happening. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to ignore Twitter because I already know it's going to be full of spoilers, which it was. I completely ignored Twitter. Woke up.
Goddamn, me too, man. Fuck.
I ignored Twitter.
It was out there right away too.
No, I ignored Twitter. I ignored Twitter, and I went to YouTube, and then first thing I see
somebody in their fucking thumbnail.
And it's somebody. I'm like mother.
Like I would have been so fucking pissed because here's the deal. I don't care about spoilers, but at this.
Exactly. Because when I watched it, I was watching it, and like my wife's like, "Oh my god!" And then I'm like this. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and we'll get to it in a little bit. But dude, like me and Avery, like I wanted to experience because I knew something big was happening. I just didn't know what. I was like, I wanted to experience. I knew I was picking Avery up, and I was like, I'm gonna stay off Twitter because I already could tell. Like I could feel it. I was like, dude, there's too many people like literally openly talking about it, and it's like fucking 9 a.m. So I was like, fuck Twitter. I'm off. Fuck that. And then it happened, and me and her, we were just dumbfounded. But we'll talk about that anyways. Sorry. Yeah.
I survived to 3 p.m. Central Time without being spoiled. I think it's a mixture of, and I was even on Twitter. I apparently just followed the right people.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, but you just never know. Here's an interesting question that Neo7's asked you. Any of you think Supergirl was taken by Darkseid thousands of years ago, possibly in the history lesson? Because I guess like somebody asked that to Snyder, and he liked it, so that just means
fucking hard fact.
You know.
Well, I mean, he's always hinted at the open pod, and and there's that line where obviously they know what Kryptonians can do when they're on Earth. So that suggests that I'm speculating here that the Kryptonian scout ship was already here before then. So that pod and the inhabitant of that pod would have been on Earth at the time of the history lesson.
There you go.
And
Shiraz, sorry, Shiraz, do you have any?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I would certainly like to see it. I mean, that's for one. I think there's obviously Zach is someone who loves to mirror imagery from the comics, and there are some great panels of Supergirl with Darkseid. I think would translate right into Zach's aesthetic. I know Zach definitely has some more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, for covering this after 3 years, it feels like we know so much about not just this movie, but what might happen after in his overall scheme. But I'm sure Zach is holding some cards close to the chest, and Supergirl will be one of those cards. I would feel like you would hold it close to the chest until the exact time it is to put it out.
And we got to remember too, it's not like she's just going to show up in her fucking costume with the skirt and stuff like that. It's like it's going to be Kara. I mean, it's just going to be another Kryptonian.
Or will she? I mean, she would have had all of that and known her history and everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that already Kryptonian garb that she'd be wearing anyway?
Well, she would have. She was old enough to know about all of that stuff. So there would be no like, oh, well, I'm just putting the suit. I didn't know about my history. None of that. No, she would have known. Now I'm gonna say what I think, and then I'm gonna let Chris go on it, just because I know he did a recent Supergirl video, but I feel like Zack would have, knowing Zack and the way that he has such like powerful women in all his films. I feel like he would have set up Supergirl to, if we knew that the nightmare was always going to happen, which is Superman, Henry Cavill, being possessed by, Darkseid, who's the only other person that could match up and to potentially compete with his level? It'd be another Kryptonian, which would be Kara, which I feel like he was setting her up to basically be the savior in Zack Snyder's Justice League 3, right? And it would make sense because, at that point in time, we're in the nightmare world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I feel like. I know the open pod is there, but I feel like Supergirl would have come in to save the day and, would have been the reason why, the nightmare gets reversed.
I think that makes a lot of sense because you know how Justice League is all different races come together, all different.
Right.
So you would need a Kryptonian on the side of good, I guess, in Justice League.
Yeah, and then even when you hear Steppenwolf talk about no Kryptonian, no lanterns, it's like he's almost saying like it's not going to be like last time, Yeah. It's not going to be like when we had all those assholes there last time that fucked us up, So there it is. I didn't even think about that. Interesting.
Yeah, but Chris, didn't you make a video about that on your?
I did. Nice editorial on the Ping Pong Flick Show. Thank you.
There you go.
I put that at the end. I tried to put together like Supergirl and the CW and everything, and how Supergirl could come back, and that movie that was supposed to happen but never did. But I love that Zack keeps mentioning the open pod. Even in the last Justice League trailer breakdown, he picked that question. He could have picked tons of questions, but he kept picking. He's like, that's a good question. Pay attention to that because there's definitely something there. So I'm like one of the things I'm most looking forward to is the inclusion of Kara in Zack. I want to see Zack Snyder's version of Kara.
Write it down.
He's been very particular about making sure people don't forget about that, while also not giving an answer to it, which he gives an answer to so many different things. So it's weird to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, guess what? We could literally tell fucking Dave, you better fucking ask this question, dude, because guess what? We're watching if he doesn't, okay?
Yeah.
So, Chris, Dave, I'm literally going to be like, dude, you better fucking ask that question. I don't care if you have to break whatever the fuck you're in. Just be like, oh, wait, you know what?
All right, I got it noted. And I'm gonna bring it up. We'll bring it up.
Well, look, here's the thing. Was there a Supergirl idea?
Tell me
maybe.
Yes, no.
Maybe, but I always appreciated the notion of another Kryptonian and that sort of contrast of power.
And I would answer. So you're saying she's alive then? Right?
You said it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, great.
That's why he's going on Dave's show. At,
I'd be fucking asking.
Yeah.
I'd be literally
He's watching.
asking.
He's afraid to
notes.
go
He's like,
dark.
don't go on John's show. He'll grill me on stuff that I'm trying to hide.
So Ryan Reynolds, what's the fucking deal?
I know. Oh yeah, his face, man. I'll still remember how his face was like, and then he went, you asshole."
At that point.
That point. He's good at pointing. He's a big pointer. But
that's good. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna figure out how to drop that in there and see how he reacts to it. We'll see. If we can get some.
Listen.
Yeah, he'll probably do the. You know what? Listen.
Listen.
So let me ask you guys this question.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Have we been able to stay unspoiled from all the international folks who have already seen Wonder Woman 1984?
I have.
I actually have.
That's good.
I have not seen any spoilers on my timeline. Thank you, everybody out there.
Or should I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, you have seen. You have, huh, Garza? You
No. I
Oh,
said, nor should I.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you
Right.
should, or should I?
Because
Or should I?
they all know when we're getting it as far as America is concerned,
Yeah.
right? Like with Mandalorian, people are in different time zones. Like
That's
if they want to
true.
spoil the shit of it, you know what? At the end of the day, I give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I could watch it like at midnight. Okay, fine, asshole. I could watch it at midnight. Am I going to do that? No, I'm not going to. But with Wonder Woman, the international people know we're not getting it until fucking December 25th. So they would be assholes to go, oh yeah, I'm spoiling the shit out of it.
Well, also, it's different to spoil something that like you go to a theater to see versus something that like you sit in front of your computer, Twitter open in one window, the show open in another. It ends, and you're like, I'm going to tweet about that. Whereas, like, because everyone could have, I mean, hypothetically, watched it on streaming, but with theatrical, there's a little more, I think, reverence for the like, oh, they have not completed the sacrament of attending the theater yet.
I've had people like tag me and Chris and anybody that go like, hey, I just got out of it. It was a little cheesy at some parts, but I enjoyed this. Gal was great. No spoilers. I enjoyed it, and that's all I've gotten when I get tagged in tweets. So nobody's ever, been.
That's great.
They always say no spoilers. So.
Yeah.
I commend.
Do you get to see it early, like Dave?
Normally, yeah, I do. This time around, I think because of how things have been going in general, for many reasons, I'm sure, but didn't get the first screening opportunity for that one. But I'm seeing it, I think, same time as Dave, which is
22nd?
this coming Tuesday.
22nd?
Yeah, this coming
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Getting a screener.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, how do you think I got the Connie interview? It was a double package kind of deal. Like, hey, email these two people, and I was like, all right, see, like I said, it was a double.
Shiraz, am I going to get to read your review soon? I mean, I'm wondering, like, where can we see this, man?
Oh, so you want me to start bumping all the things I've been working on? All right.
And you don't bump things. You just multitask. That's what it is.
I'll multitask
all the things.
I'm multitasking because then I'll also probably take my the smooth exit at the same time. It's getting late. So, review will drop on comicbookdebate.com, which will also be there on Rotten Tomatoes. My Rotten Tomatoes page, but also the official films page as well. And then we got, of course, Comic Book Debate's going really strong these days.
Yeah.
We got the Built Different stream now every Sunday, 8 p.m., which is going really great. And we're getting the team involved. There's a lot of cool projects coming up, really cool projects. I'm very excited for those to happen, but I can't announce it yet. But when the time comes, I think we're going to do it the Faruqi way. That's all I can say. And there'll be some cool stuff on the way for that.
Dude, somebody make that to a T-shirt. Do it the Faruqi way.
On the merch, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm just working hard. I'm always in the lab. That's my thing. I'm always trying to improve my craft, make sure that the next time I step into the ring, I'm more prepared than I was the last time I stepped in the ring. So you can best be sure that I will be much more prepared for every future opportunity that comes my way. So I'm excited to see how all that turns out. But definitely appreciate you guys, and Dave, just keep doing your thing.
Thanks,
Sunday,
man.
let's raise some money. Let's do it, and I think it'll be pretty fun. Let's see
For
what
sure,
happens
man.
next.
Thank you for joining.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a good
All
night.
right. Appreciate it, boys. All right.
Talk to you soon. Love Shiraz.
That was
all
just a great layup. I don't even think I meant to do that, but I was like, oh, quarter.
That was a great. Man. That was good. That was the way to do that. I don't know. You guys want to start talking about that?
No, I need to talk about that. I'm sorry. I've literally been fucking waiting.
You know what, guys? Everybody in the chat.
I did not care about Zack Snyder Justice League when I saw this fucking Mandalorian episode. Let's put it that way.
We have to talk about this. We're going to talk spoilers because, well, I mean, if you're out there, you're already seeing everything that fucking happened. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you just gonna tell all those people that don't want spoilers to just kick it, or
just pretty much just
The fuck out!
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait.
Maybe you should put a lower third with that information.
I feel like you have more passion than I do right now. And we're
Oh my god! Okay, I stayed up.
So you actually stayed up. Ooh.
I stayed up and I was in bed and I got my kid and my wife sleeping and I'm in the dark, and when that moment happens,
Well, we
I'm
can
like,
talk about it because it's spoilers
okay,
now.
okay. So when the X-wing came, I'm like, holy shit, that's wait, and then he comes out, I'm like, oh fuck, it's Luke, and then my kid was like, what? I'm sorry, go back to sleep. This is insane. I was like, oh my god,
I can't tell you. So the only thought that me and Avery were having at that fucking moment when the X-wing showed up, she was like, it either has to be Luke or it has to be Ezra, and I was like, yeah, but when the fuck does Ezra ever have a fucking X-wing? She was like, all right, whatever. All of a sudden we see the green lightsaber, and so we're like,
oh yeah, Ezra's got a green lightsaber.
Well, right? And I was like, well, Ezra also has a green lightsaber, but and then all of a sudden
it was the glove.
She goes, that's Luke. Look at the way he's walking in. He looks. Remember on like Return of the Jedi when he walks into Jabba's palace? Yeah. That's how he's walking in, and I was like, holy fucking shit! Yeah. It like no bullshit, Steven. How many times have I fucking said this? Right? That I went Disney Plus. If they were to bring Luke or they bring somebody into this the Disney Plus Skywalker saga, they would be fucking killing it, right? How many times did I say that?
Yeah.
Like fucking
once, like twice.
Like at least twice. And so I went, holy shit, they fucking did it. They brought Luke back. And at the time that I see this, I went, I'm so glad that they brought in the original actor and just CGI. I actually was like, I'd rather than do the CGI face. I didn't give a shit.
It was a bit crazy.
We can get to that complaint, but let's talk about our reaction.
If they would have had another actor, I would have been like, oh god damn it.
But they've got to though. I mean, like you're the one that's talking about how important it is for them to have another actor on there. So now the first time he's on screen, now next time he shows up, they're not going to do that forever, right? So like now you're like recasting him on the show. Imagine if that was like Sebastian Stan or someone. Yeah. Now you've got your Luke actor introduced, right? Like,
well, I mean, but
for Obi-Wan,
initial reaction. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like when it was building up to that scene and they're like locked into that.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I was like, Luke's gonna fucking show. It just hit me. I'm like, it's gotta be Luke. Like I wanted it to be fucking Mace Windu. I was like, because I knew like I'm like, there's no way the Jedi, whatever Jedi was summoned is going to show up at the end of this thing. And I was like rooting for like, oh, just give me some Sam Jackson. And then like as it kept going on, and when they moved into that room, and when he was when he was trying to give what's her name the dark saber, and she was taking it, and and he was like, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be fucking Luke, isn't it? And then it was almost like not even subtle. It was like, oh, there's the X-wing, it's Luke. Well, there's the green lightsaber, it's Luke.
Well, here's the thing. I will admit, when I saw the X-wing, I was like, okay, X-wing.
Yeah.
Right. Like I saw the black cloak, the green lightsaber. No, the clues started like as soon as I saw the black glove.
Yeah, the glove.
Like, that was what got it for me. But I will admit, the entire time I'm like,
what are they going to do?
What are they going to do? I had heard the Sebastian Stan thing. Are they going to fake me out? And it's like, are they trying to make me think it's Luke, or is it actually? I'm sitting here going, are you messing with? Are you?
Yeah. You literally. What I was wondering, there was a point. We're going like, Disney, do you really have the balls to fucking tell me that's Luke?
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Are you literally whipping it out and telling me, yeah, it's fucking Luke?
But
I was wondering if they were gonna show like maybe he was gonna pull off his hood and it was gonna be like from the back, and then it was gonna be like credits or something.
And then it happened. However, it was like giving Luke the Vader scene from the end of Rogue One. It was like, thank you for giving me a Force. Okay, we can get to the Uncanny Valley stuff later, but let's talk about the fact that I got to see a full-on Force Unleashed Luke taking out some dark troopers like nobody's business. It's like this has always been what I've always wanted, which is I want some more Jedi. Like I want more Jedi stuff.
Yes, I was jumping. I leaped out of bed, and I was like in pure emotion. Like I was like when he crushed.
Oh yeah,
waiting for the last one that he was just like crushing. I was like,
yeah,
yes. He wasn't even fucking. He was like, yeah, this is easy shit. Fuck it.
That's what I wanted to see in Last Jedi. Sorry for all Last Jedi.
And then he had Grogu. Then he had
that
Grogu
Bo-Katan was gonna betray.
Yeah.
Did anybody thought that Bo-Katan was gonna be was working with Moff Gideon at one?
No,
time?
I never thought that. I just thought there was going to be that.
Yeah, like what's going on there? And then he started talking about the way that she wanted to the Darksaber. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
That's a retcon.
Yeah, I just saw Moff Gideon basically going, "Oh no, this is why I lost." Like I almost thought Moff Gideon lost to him on purpose because, like, no, this is my ultimate. I'm going to screw with you right now.
What's funny is that the reason Bo-Katan had the Darksaber in the first place was because it was gifted to her by Sabine. By Sabine, yeah.
And I love how Mondo was just like, "Hey, come on, just fucking take
I'll
it."
have a piece fleshing this theory out more probably early next week. But my thoughts on that is that I think that what they might do is say like, oh, well, that's the reason Mandalore fell. Like she didn't properly inherit the Darksaber and she accepted it as a gift, and that's why the Empire was able to. So I think that would be really cool if they explained it that way.
But I also love that this finale, it gave us that cool moment with Luke, and yet it still did not answer all the season 2 questions.
Oh, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
And once again, I love a show that doesn't like when a show is confident enough to go, we're getting a season 3. We're freaking announcing another show in the post-credit scene.
No, I mean, like, yeah, when it came to that, what they needed to do was like show Luke, show that he was going to be the Jedi, and then there was going to be, I mean, that was great, hyped up, but then the fucking tears. I mean, the choke. My God! And I mean, I rewatched it, and I mean,
when he took it off.
Big ups to Pedro Pascal to just fucking give that much emotion to a fucking little animatronic doll. But I mean,
it's touching his face.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's hugging his leg and looking up at him, I'm like,
yes. And then Luke just flat out goes, you have to basically tell him to like come with me. You know, he looks up to you to tell him that. And then when he took off the helmet, that's where the fucking lump went. And I was like, shit. And then the fucking hand on the face, and it was just like, and then even just seeing him with like, glassy eyes, seeing him in the elevator thing, and he gave him that last little like, nod, and it was just like I was.
So the reason why he took it off is because he wanted to show his expression to Grogu, because he
needed to,
and that's what got me. I was like, oh no,
damn it,
showing him how he feels about him leaving him. So that was like I got emotional. I was like, watching.
I even got emotional when R2 showed up.
Oh yeah,
R2 showed up.
And then R2 does this little like his little dance when he saw when Grogu was looking up at him, and it was like, oh Jesus Christ.
But here's what I referenced this earlier on Twitter, but it's something that I'm going to write about. It'll probably come out on Sunday just because of how I have to write it. But
where are you going to write it?
I'm going to write it on the Real Anarchy website, by the way. And I got to go to another beer. But essentially, now this is a rumor that I heard that I was like, I don't even know where I heard it from. I just remember I heard it somewhere, and I was like, it's so fucking random. But again, this is like right after the whole Ahsoka showed up. Now, the stone that Grogu sat on, the markings around it are similar to the markings that were in when Ahsoka goes into that like realm of force
between worlds.
The world between worlds. And in that world, you can change things, or you can actually, go in different, not necessarily universes, because it's not necessarily a multiverse, but it's a different area of sorts. And so, what the rumor was, and what I'm now literally, I'm more in belief now than I ever was, just because we saw Luke and he took Grogu. Most people would be thinking, oh, okay, well, Grogu is going to be part of the Jedi Temple, and that's whenever Ben Solo kind of takes him out and wipes him out.
I love how Ben Solo was trending today. Right. Like, that motherfucker kills Grogu, doesn't he?
Right. And you would think that that's the case, right? But no, because this is a show that has multiple seasons, right? And things are going to happen for a reason. And so when we get this Ahsoka series, it's going to change things into like how things progress. And so I feel like what they're setting up is this Luke Skywalker that's not going to set up a temple that gets destroyed by Ben Solo, because essentially what all these shows are going to culminate to is a retcon of the sequel trilogy. And how, yes, that worked and that was there, but because of so much that has happened, because keep in mind, Dave Filoni is in charge of all of these series, right? He was never really involved into the movies. And guess what? If you were to watch these 2 films or 3 films and watch the series of The Mandalorian and Clone Wars, there's so much more lore in Star Wars in the Clone Wars and The Mandalorian than anything that was touched in the sequel trilogy in 3 of these films. And so
That's so extreme, though.
I know,
Yeah,
I know it is, but keep in mind that they're not going the theatrical route. Okay, so
no, but I don't think they need to retcon them. I think because what they're like, look at what they did with like Ahsoka and whatever. There are stories to tell bigger than the sequel trilogy without even entering that timeline or part of the galaxy.
Is 30 years later by the choice.
I know that.
A long time.
But why don't they have any kind of series involved with the sequel trilogy?
Well, because there's 30 years to go.
So
we can tell.
We're going to Obi-Wan with 10 years out. That's what, 15 years before where we're at in the Mandalorian.
Well, no, but I mean, look at the same reason they had like a no-fly zone for new stories between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens for a long time. There's just a lot of stories beats there that they're working on, and like I'm not like I don't know. It's the whole state of the franchise. I don't even know what I would prefer, but I don't think they need to retcon so much as like look at what Clone Wars did for the prequels, for example. They were able to recontextualize things and add some information in ways that got people to say like, oh, okay. So like for example, if they can give people
that was all handled with Dave Filoni and George Lucas, right?
Right, but that was without saying the prequels didn't happen. What they said was, oh, what you didn't know was here's why Anakin's fall was more dramatic. Here's why the politics in the Phantom Menace are so much more interesting, and all those things. And it's like, for example, people's complaints about like Luke, for example. I didn't mind Luke in The Last Jedi personally, even though I don't like the movie as a whole. I think his arc was great.
Yeah.
But I think that this episode is an example. People wanted to see this, and so if you give them. Now they're like, okay, I have this Luke story, and you have 30 years of Luke stories like that to tell. By the time you get to The Last Jedi, people might, and you can tell more of that. People will be like, oh no, so I got that Luke. Now I'm okay with that being his ending because they made it make sense with the context. I think that is far more likely than for them to say like, oh no, that never happened.
And there is an audience of, and this is something that always happens with Star Wars fandom, is that you get the people who grew up on the original trilogy crap on the prequel trilogy. But the people who grew up with the prequel trilogy love the prequel trilogy and then crap on the sequel trilogy. But then there's a whole generation that grew up with the sequel trilogy. And I just never want to become that guy, because there are people I know, I have friends who sincerely enjoy the sequel trilogy. And one thing that was going on today that just because of my own personal philosophy is I can talk about how much I am loving the hell out of The Mandalorian, and I never have to bring up whatever my feelings are about any entry in the sequel trilogy, because I can celebrate The Mandalorian on its own merits. And I'm just over this whole, I need to tear down this thing so that I can raise up this thing. I can raise up this thing on its own.
Dude, well, listen, I'm not doing that because I love The Force Awakens. I love The Last Jedi minus the fucking shitty jokes and Canto Bight. Like, I love The Last Jedi. I love what Luke did. And I even love The Rise of Skywalker. I love the sequel trilogies. Like, for what they did and for what they had to do compared to the prequels and the original trilogy. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, I enjoy them. The only reason why I'm saying I think that they're going to retcon them is because they have so much more to go off of now. And I don't necessarily mean retcon like they never happened. I feel like, yeah, they did happen at some point, or they happened at a time frame, but I feel
Star
like
Wars multiverse.
yeah, like I feel like they're going in a different direction than where the sequel trilogy headed to, and I think it's mainly because Ahsoka, like she is going to be, without necessarily having to be the Rey, she's going to be like that big character of Jedi that doesn't necessarily even have to be Jedi, and it's weird to think of because, like my daughter, I think I told you guys this. When I show my daughter the Star Wars in the order that they were released in, and after all of these were done, after The Rise of Skywalker, I asked her what was her favorite. She still says A New Hope, because at the end of the day, that's like her favorite film. She loves everything about those films, even the original trilogy. And it's like, in my head, I'm going, well, she's grown up with the sequel trilogy. So like what Scott, you were saying, like she is that generation. But guess what? She still goes, yeah, but I still prefer A New Hope. I don't really care for the sequel trilogy.
And it might also be a case of, I had, when my boys aren't quite there yet. I remember I think when Liam, next year, 2021, Liam will be the age that I saw A New Hope. And I remember talking to a friend, there was even on our Patreon over at Squawcast Media, there was a whole episode called I'm a Jedi Like My Father Before Me. It was about him going to Disney World with his grandparents and getting to do the Jedi Knight training. And he kind of started to get interested in Star Wars, but I was like, but you're too young. Like you're not quite old enough yet, I feel like, to watch those movies. And I had a conversation with Ray from Fans Without Borders about, okay, what's it like to introduce how do I let my children discover Star Wars on their own, but still, how do I want to guide them without saying this, my God, this is the way? Because I want it to be organic for his experience to discover Star Wars while still saying, no, son, you're going to watch these in release order. I am going to kind of be like, no, this is the way.
The way to do it. Yeah, I mean, retconning, I don't know. It just seems like they can. I mean, I think Steven, you even talked about when it came to the Obi-Wan series, it's like, you guess it that, yeah, everybody's like, well, he's supposed to be secluded on Tatooine, right, the whole time. But then it's like, they just announced like, oh, no, he'll make some trips. He's going to go out to space every now and then.
Yeah, and there's nothing saying he can't, except for 40 years of people making headcanon. Yeah,
exactly.
Like that's the only thing that. Now there's some lines that might need to be reinterpreted, but we're talking about Obi-Wan. Everything's from a certain point of view, right?
Exactly. And then talking about, do you think? Oh, not that one. There was like another one in there. I missed it. Somebody was talking about, of course, the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh my God, that scene! When it showed Jabba's palace, I
was like, okay. And then what's his name? Jabba's like right-hand man. Yeah.
For a second, I thought they were gonna do the trapdoor with a trapdoor. Fall through or something. But no, it was good.
I loved it when Boba sat on the seat and then Finnick just like grabbed the booze and was just like,
yep, let's have a drink.
We're the only ones alive, but we're not.
No, but that of course that set off the spinoff for Boba Fett, which we knew it was coming, and it was like, yeah, fine. I mean, I know, there's rumors out there from. I mean, I know Garls is not here, but it's Girl.
Yes, I want it.
There he is,
and he shall appear, right? I'll say this. I was reading on Stephen Colbert's site, Serene Rant, right? That was the Boba Fett show, or that like end credit scene, was that for Boba Fett's show, or was that for the title of the Mandalorian 3? Like we don't.
No, that's for So Boba Fett is getting like a mini series, and there's also Mando season 3. Like my understanding is the Boba Fett show has like already shot, or is shooting now.
Which one?
And
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Okay. That has already been shot or has been in production. While season 2 is airing, and I don't know where they are in season 3, but yeah, it's 2 distinct separate things.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I will say that when we got to that part, Avery was like, that's Boba Fett's. I mean, that's Jabba's palace. Like, what's happening? And so she enjoyed that. But Scott, to answer your question, what I did, and I don't know if your kids are going to be open to this, but I told Avery, I said, look, she was 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly when, like,
because I was 8 when I saw it for the first time. Yeah.
And I was so 99 was when
Phantom Menace
came out. I was born in 86, so I was 12. I was 12 at the time. So, I was a little late bloomer, and I had never seen any of the Star Wars. And I saw that. I remember after seeing it, I wanted to wield a double-bladed lightsaber. Like, that was me. So, like, when I told her about, hey, I'm gonna show you these, I said, listen, have I ever steered you wrong on anything you ever enjoyed? And she was like, well, no. I was like, exactly. So we're gonna watch this in machete order.
Machete order, yeah.
So, and so that's why I showed her 4 and 5, and then we went back 2 and 3. And then she saw 6, and then we just watched 1, just whatever, and then we watched 7, and then we were gonna watch 8. But she still gets it. Even then, I showed her the Family Guy version of Star Wars,
Blue Harvest, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, we gotta watch that again, and so she understands the jokes and all that, and she gets it. But I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, I just told her, I said, listen, I'm going to show you the films in order that they were released, but also not really that they were released. And because she already had known about Vader, so it's a little different. Like, do your kids know about Vader?
No, they do
right.
not.
So if they don't know about
not even Hayden Christensen's kid knows about Vader.
Yeah, exactly. So I would show them machete order, just because when they get to that line, they're going to be like, wait, really? And they'd be like, actually, guess what? How about we go and find out if he really is? Because you don't know, right? I mean, did he really just say that?
It's so weird being a parent and being like feeling responsible for ushering your kids into certain forms of pop culture, because for a number of reasons. And I think Star Wars is a really good example, because there's we have to do it the right way. Like, they can't like the wrong movies, and we can't. And I think there's often an impetus to they have to like it the same way that we like it. Like,
and that's what I don't. And that's
for the same reasons.
And that's what I don't want. It's like, I want, and like, if you're going to be a Star Wars fan, be your Star Wars fan. Don't be the Star Wars fan I want you to be.
Shep is 4.5, and he isn't like super interested in Star Wars. He like loves Transformers stuff, but he's got some Star Wars toys, and he knows all my Star Wars toys, and so he's like really into. He loves different ships and vehicles and the AT-AT micro machines that I've got. He's like all about, and so there's been moments where I'm like, oh, I bet I could get him into like Rebels or the Clone Wars or something, and he's like not into it. And I tried. He watched part of The Force Awakens once because there's a Rey toy that, but he lost interest pretty quickly. But the other day I put on A New Hope, and I've always thought like, oh, I'm gonna show him release order, because like I'm chaotic like that.
Yeah.
Or not release order, chronological order. Because I think, I don't know, that's a whole other discussion. But I'm personally support. I've encouraged people who have never seen it before to see it in chronological order.
Oh,
episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Simply because there is a different experience to be had there, and I think it's really. I kind of wish I'd been able to experience it that way, because we hold the Vader reveal to this high regard, more because of the way we experienced it, more so than what it actually is. Whereas like there's a whole generation of people who like the reveal that Anakin turned dark in and of itself was just as big, if not bigger, than that. They just didn't have the context that we were approaching it from.
It's like Daenerys turning, blowing up King's Landing. Everybody's like, "What?" And you're like, "Well, you just."
And so it's funny because like I thought I had this whole like system about how I was going to introduce it to him, but because he's like interested in it and exploring it on his own already because of the toys, I didn't have as much control over it. And then he really wanted to see the Millennium Falcon, and so I was like, okay, fine. So I put on A New Hope, and while none of the other stuff I'd put on before really caught him, it was about. We were not even like 5 or 10 minutes into it, where it's like I got up and did something. He's like, "Daddy, you're in front of the TV. You're blocking the TV. I can't see." And he sat there and he watched
about that movie.
He watched the
close
whole
Yes.
thing. Like he was glued to it. And I was like, you know what? I remember the first time I thought I saw Star Wars. I think the first thing I ever saw from Star Wars was like walking in at like Thanksgiving. It was on like a marathon on TV or something, or whenever they used to do that at my grandparents' house. And my dad had 7 brothers and sisters, and they had like 4 different rooms with TVs on. And there's like a group of family members and cousins in like every different room watching it. And I just remember like hopping from room to room. And I remember like, I think the first thing I ever saw was like Luke and Yoda. And like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't think that like I was introduced to it the wrong way. That's when I think about Star Wars and like that nostalgia feeling I get, that's the scene that I return to. Cause I remember looking at that and being fascinated by like, what is going on here? And no, I didn't like the geek inside of me would like take that 5-year-old me or whatever aside and be like, but you need to understand there's midichlorians and like it doesn't.
Well, that's what's so interesting about like Avery. Like I after she had seen Star Wars, right? Not 7 or 8. Okay, well, I hadn't seen Clone Wars until what 2019. You know, last year. So, like,
I'm still working my way through Clone Wars,
Right.
like in I'm doing it in chronological order. So, like, I'm really having to.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So when I first showed Avery that, like, keep in mind she's in the mindset of, you know, she's almost a teenager, right? So she's going, do I really need to see cartoons, right? I mean, that was her mind. Like at that point in time, she had seen live action. She had seen all the live action really up until last year, right? So except for Rise of Skywalker. So she's going, do I really need to see a cartoon version of Star Wars? Like, so her first initial reaction was, I don't need to see that because I know Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I show her like, I think it was like the first couple of episodes, right? And then into the movie, which if you're watching it in chronological order, that's how you get it. 2 episodes within the movie. And I remember like after that, I was like, so? She was like, she was fucking hooked. And literally to that point where she went, I need to see more of this. And she fucking just watched and binge watched all of the Clone Wars. And then obviously what happens? She absolutely loves Ahsoka, which Ahsoka does not exist, period, in any of the live action. And so if you can imagine that for a child, right? She's now 13. Imagine that kind of experience of Star Wars where you're going, I didn't even know this character existed and she's my favorite. You know what I mean? Like that thought process, I must be like insane to have with Star Wars.
And it's weird to me because like then when you look at the sequel trilogy, it's like, okay, they decided just to kind of recycle just the
yes
story. It's like, why couldn't you guys just like do something different where you already had like an established Jedi?
Which is why I'm saying, like, imagine, like, my daughter grew up with the sequel trilogy. Why isn't Rey her favorite character, right?
Yeah, because it's boring.
If I'm going to be misogynistic, right? If I'm going to be like basic, why isn't my daughter just all about Rey? Like, Rey is a female Jedi, right? She's that's what she is, right? But my daughter literally could see through that and went, no, Ahsoka, that's my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Chris, you have 3 sons. What do you think?
They don't like Star Wars. I mean, they're really, honestly, they are Marvel fanatics. Well, actually,
you're raising a rock.
Man, but he loves Godzilla.
No, you're doing something right there.
Pokemon and blends into number box. Like that's it. And Peppa Pig. So they're all clearly. I don't, I don't connect with them at all.
What did you try? Yeah, you're like, I don't fucking talk to them. They're just like in another room.
I've been watching Dragon Ball Z with my kids, and Frieza just killed Krillin, and
you're gonna pay for this.
And yes, my 3-year-old is watching that, and she just goes, "Daddy, what happened to Krillin?" And I just didn't say anything, and she goes, "Daddy, what happened to Krillin?" Daddy, what happened to Krillin? You know what? Well, another time.
Yeah. They sent him off onto a farm.
That's that Kill Bill conversation where we're like, well, sweetheart, you know what? Yeah. He was flopping, and then you took him out and you put him on the floor, and he's not flopping anymore.
I will, however, say, going back to the finale of Mandalorian, the payoff of that Beskar spear being like, I need it. Yeah. I was like, I needed that fight so much.
Yeah, the minute
It's
that I
funny
saw
how
him
much
walking
the
around with
show
it,
is
it's up
structured.
to his back, I knew it was like, okay, there's gonna be a fight where he's gonna use it.
Well, the second Ahsoka gave it to him, I was like, oh, it's like it plays it like an RPG. The whole show does. And so he gets it, and I'm like, okay, so he's gonna fight the Darksaber with the Beskar spear. That's gonna happen. Like,
Well, I wasn't thinking that much, but I was like, it's going to be important. But what do you guys think of, are we going to see Luke in some form or fashion? Because if they show Luke in The Mandalorian, they got to show him somehow or another in Obi-Wan, right?
Well, that's what the argument that kind of Steven was saying. Like, why would you go full on de-aging CGI and not just have an actor?
Well, because it's after the Return of the Jedi, right? But in Obi-Wan, he would literally be what, a teenager?
Well, there's been. I'm pretty sure they were casting a teenage, or not a teenage. He'd be like 8 or something.
No,
like
he
that.
was like, it was like an 8-year-old. They are casting an 8-year-old Luke in Obi-Wan. And a lot of people were kind of worried that it was going to be just like Mandalorian again. You just got, you got somebody who's protecting a child again, essentially. And I think that was like the rumors of why there was like script rewrites because they didn't want to do. I remember hearing all that, and I was like, yeah, that would suck if it was just Obi-Wan with child Luke, like a baby Luke. We gonna have baby Luke now. Watch out, guys! They're gonna hire the cutest kid in the world. But it's like. I don't think that's going to be the case now. That would be.
It's not baby Luke. It's the child.
Yeah.
Well, it'd just be kind of cool to have just like a cameo of a kid just to go remind you why Obi-Wan is on.
Yeah, well, like they did in Rebels. They had that shot in Rebels where it was.
Yeah, where it was like minimal, but it was like you heard Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
No. So I started listening to this podcast, and this is literally a plug of this other podcast. I don't have any relation or affiliation to it, but it's called Star Wars Theory, and they have these like 5-minute podcasts like that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they talk about is like, why didn't Ben train Luke? Like ever so often, right? And what he talks about, and it's like canon, right? So he talks about canon and non-canon, but it was that Uncle Owen fucking hated Obi-Wan. He was like, look, dude, you trained his father, and look how that turned out, okay? I don't want you touching Luke, okay?
You see that in New Hope when like he says, I want to talk about old Ben, and then like they look at each other like,
oh, you want to know what's really funny when we talk about non-canon? I have like the 3rd edition of the Star Wars Encyclopedia back from like the 90s. Wow. Back before Attack of the Clones came out, the encyclopedia canon at that time was that Uncle Owen was actually Obi-Wan's brother.
Oh, wow.
So the animosity between those two was because a crazy old wizard. It was because he wasn't Force sensitive and he thought his brother was whatever.
Wow, that's not bad. I like that.
It's not bad, but
what happened to me when the prequels came out, that I was sitting there going, okay.
But I mean, that's why it's always funny to me when people are like, the EU had it figured out, and I was like, no, they just told a bunch of stories, and people decided to hang on to the ones that they liked the most. They were all over the place when it came to canon.
When in my head, I'm going, how would they show? I guess maybe Disney would retcon or not retcon it, but just create its own canon. But I mean, how would you use A New Hope of going? Obviously, Uncle Owen doesn't like Obi-Wan. That's why he's like, he's just some old wizard. Don't listen to him. So you can't be showing a young Luke training with Obi-Wan because, I mean, unless you're going to retcon A New Hope, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
You really couldn't show him being like training.
Not training with, but there are a few like in canon, like I guess the radio drama isn't actually canon, but there are a few encounters that they had over the years.
Yeah, I guess they could do something where like, hey, Luke, move this rock real quick. See if you can move this rock. Like, hey, I'm gonna throw this rock at you and see if you dodge. Yeah, he might just do subtle little things, or something.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan is known. Like he's the crazy old guy who lives out, out in the desert. It's not like he doesn't know who Obi-Wan is.
Old Ben.
Just a crazy old guy who lives down the street.
Ironically, is literally old Ben right next to us, right there. Mr. Ben Aykroyd. Old Ben. Oh, Ben Everett.
It took you long enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was about time that he made a joke like that. He was sitting on that one for a bit.
Yeah.
But Ben, what do you? Well, now that we're focused on you, what do you think? Like,
Well, I'm on the same mindset as Scott. Why do we have to care about the sequels? I think this show has been really good from season 1 to season 2 and everything that they're already developing. So I think they focus in the story for those shows. I think it's gonna be a better. Those series are gonna be better served focusing on them instead of being cognizant of the sequel, because the sequel, I think you can make those great shows and kind of sprinkle here stuff from the sequel and not without sacrificing a lot of the story.
Well, look at how much they did with like setting up Snoke in this season.
Yeah, and then nothing happened. That's one of the things that I thought that was gonna pay off at the end of this episode. I was like, what happened to that clone that
Well, so you all are all in agreement that y'all saw Snoke in that bath, whatever tank.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good.
I don't know that it was Snoke.
I don't know, but it reminded me of Snoke. So I was like, it's got to be like a Snoke.
I mean, I think the idea is they're looking for a body that could be used by Palpatine, less so than it is the actual Snoke, but it is a project that leads to Snoke.
Good.
Right.
Because I saw that, I was like, why is nobody even fucking pointing that out? But
and I thought that was gonna pay off at one point in this episode. I was like, oh, nothing ever happened.
But I feel like that's because Moff Gideon is still alive, so I mean, we're still going to get more Giancarlo Esposito in season 3. Hallelujah, because I can never get too much of that.
Freaking awesome.
It's amazing, and and we still have that, and they like he's a clone specialist. Like they actually identified that the scientist was a clone engineer.
And if anyone remembers back to season 1 when they identified the patches on his uniform were like the same icons as from the Camino cloners used, or the kids on Camino were wearing those.
Mm-hmm. Which he was probably a cloning doctor.
I love that when Bo-Katan just call him a clone. Heard your voice 1,000 times.
Woof.
Well, I loved chapter 15. I loved it from chapter 15 where it was like they'd recognize my face.
No, that was
true.
A good line. That was a good line.
Well, actually, that actually. So what do you guys think is going to happen with Bo-Katan? Because, I mean, are they going to continue her in The Mandalorian? Are they going to continue her in Ahsoka? Like, what?
I
don't know.
Probably Mandalorian.
There has to be that conflict between Mando now and Bo-Katan.
Her?
They set that up. They're just like, that's the conflict. The next.
I mean, but he's not going to want it. He's going to be like, I don't fucking.
Yeah, he
want
doesn't
this.
care for
like,
it.
At the end of the day, there's only what? There's Casca. She's a Mandalorian. All she has to do is turn her eye. Nobody else is going to give a fuck about the black.
Or they could try to take back the Mandalorian world or something.
Yeah, but I don't think that is. I think that Din Djarin is now like he's not exactly a bounty hunter anymore, right? And he doesn't have Baby Yoda anymore. So I think that
he's a Ronin, is what he is.
Yeah. So I think that I wouldn't be shocked to see him like saddle up with the Mandos to take back Mandalore, and I think the way that Bo-Katan is going to see it is that he is like duty bound to honor the call of the Darksaber or whatever.
So you think that season 3 would be them trying to reclaim Mandalore? Is that what you're saying, Steven?
Yeah, probably.
Jeez,
is that what you're saying, Steven?
Yeah, because that would be interesting. Like,
that's always been like the end game of the show because they've got that's like Gideon's whole thing. I mean, I kind of figured that like back in season 1 when they introduced him and they were talking about the Purge and all that.
And even though I haven't seen it, but since the Siege of Mandalore was such a major arc in Clone Wars 7, which once again, I have to get there. But once again, if you're talking about everything that Filoni and you got Kathleen Kennedy, you get all the people, it's like, okay, now we have some synergy because we do the Siege of Mandalore, which then sets up all of this backstory that the Mandalorian is able to play off of. I mean, there is that synergy of what's going on the TV side that is allowing the universe to expand. And so I could see them like there is going to be, and also you get Katie Sackhoff. I mean, you're once again, we're talking about casting. You're not going to waste.
Wait, yeah, you're gonna use her again.
Yeah,
definitely gonna do that.
By the way, I found the actor that they're looking at for the baby Luke. Looks just like him, right? That's how we're doing things now, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I believe it.
That's just wrong.
Dude, I believe it. I wouldn't. All I know is Dave Filoni, if he's in charge of all these shows, which is the Ranger of the New Republic and Ahsoka, and probably this Boba Fett. I mean, I don't. How the fuck he's alive? Who cares, right? I guess, but. He even made it a point to say, like, how are you alive? Fortuna or whatever. He even said it. He's like, how the fuck are you alive, dude? Like, whatever. Anyways, so I feel like
NASCAR that protected him. I mean, that's what.
Well, but he lost it at some point, right? How did he lose it then? If that was the case.
I like the idea that he has more animosity towards Jabba's like Bib Fortuna than he does towards like Luke or Han or any of them, which I think makes sense because he's like, no, they were like they were a job, whereas like Jabba was supposed to like have my back, and like they let me down, and like Han was just a job, which I always thought it was kind of dumb that there was like this. I never was a big fan of the Han Boba Fett like rivalry because they were just professionals, right? I mean, unprofessional, but they were professional. Like they were just a smuggler and a bounty hunter who supposedly came into contact every once in a while. They don't need to be nemesis.
It's Godfather. It's not personal. It's simply business.
Right. Yeah. Like, mentioning that Boba Fett is he looks a whole lot older than the prequels, man.
Yeah.
Well, he is.
Has anybody pointed that out?
What?
That Boba Fett is older than the prequels?
A whole lot older. He looks a whole lot
do you know
older.
who else is a whole lot older than they were in the prequels? Everybody.
He was notably like.
That's funny. All right, let's bring in some of these Patreon questions here. We have good old Neil. Neil showing off that
the man cave.
Man cave.
Oh my God.
It's great, and of course, he likes to reveal that he has a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles question actually. So here we go.
Whoa.
All right, Ninja Turtles, guys. We haven't had a good one since 1990, and then unfortunately, we got this. Oh no! So, with tonight's question, would you like to see this style of turtle in a movie, the Jim Henson style costume? And what would your plot be? Would you want to go Dimension X? We have some really good VFX now. Or perhaps Turtles in Time. I mean, why not? Let it show! Who wouldn't want to see a little Ninja Turtles back in the theater? I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to kick some shell? Hey, guys. Cheers.
Okay,
That's just I'm gonna give him 100 for showmanship, bro.
Wow, he has a Turtles in Time fucking arcade game.
Cabinet.
Jesus Christ.
man.
I beat that game for my bachelor party. We went to a barcade.
Wow, living it up.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do another Turtles version, isn't like Seth Rogen working on something, Ninja Turtles or whatever?
That's the last thing I heard.
Yeah, and he was going to try to do something different, which I could see that. Yeah, we'll do something different. I think it's done. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do. But like, I'm sure.
But I mean, he produced like The Boys. I could see him.
I mean,
exactly.
There.
So
I didn't mind the
hopefully
last
he
Turtle
injects
movies. I
something
didn't
fresh.
mind the design. The stories were just like so fucking stupid. That's all it
Dude,
was.
I mean, yeah, the newer ones. I mean, they were just ridiculous. The first one just completely rips off Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, it does.
Like its final.
Even the
act is
tower, the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. And it was just like, and Megan Fox, as gorgeous as she is, she was a horrible April. And then they tried to get Stephen Amell to be Casey Jones. I'm like, that's not fucking Casey Jones. Are you kidding me? It was horrible. Like what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it, I don't know, Michael Bay-esque.
I want something again, like when you go back to like that original 90s movie.
Yeah.
It was it was a lighter version of the original Eastman and Laird comics. But if you go back to those Eastman and Laird comics, they were black and white, they were indie, they were a Daredevil parody, because you even see the ooze is the stuff that made Matt Murdock go blind if you follow the canon of the comic.
Yeah.
I would love to see something more kind of in that sort of noir, style, and I'd love to, that's something that I would love, because as I've gotten older, I've appreciated what Eastman and Laird were doing. The only time I will say that they did something different that was a little bit more, quote, comic booky was when they did do that Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie. That was actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Anybody else? Do you think they should do CGI or should they do the costumes like they did? I mean, the costumes
could work.
Yeah, do a mix of both, right?
Yeah, I think the weird thing about Turtles is that nobody knows what it is. Like I think, like even per Scott's point, like he's even in just referencing what he likes about it, he referenced like 3 or 4 drastically different interpretations of the team.
Yep.
And people were and you've got multiple different iterations of the comics. You've got you got the comics, you got multiple different iterations of the movies, of the cartoons, and different people found it through different ways. And it's like it's one of those things where, because of like the 90s movies, almost like Superman, the general public has this really strong opinion kind of on what it is and what it should be.
Yeah.
When like nobody really knows like what the comics are or have any kind of alignment on that. And
that's
so
where it all started. I mean,
I think the biggest struggle with it would be to kind of have creative alignment on like, what is this going to be? And then not having the audience be like, Turtles are supposed to be campy.
Yeah, no. Everybody, there's like a Netflix series like that's about toys. I forgot what it's called. But they talk about the Teenage Mutant
we grew up.
the toys we grew up on.
Toys we grew up on, or something like that. Yeah, you're right. And the one for the Ninja Turtles is excellent because they go all the way to how the Turtles were created, and obviously the toys are what just parlayed it into like this fucking empire.
The toys that made us. That's the name of the
toys that made us.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Actually, I mean, I went through that thing because I mean,
that's a great example, because I think the toys are probably what most people know. About the Turtles, and so
a lot of cartoons from the 80s or 90s were like that. Even the He-Man, She-Ra, they all were toys.
Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Transformers, yes.
It's an excellent series, and I suggest everybody diving into those. And then now we got William Powell, who has a question from Sci-Fi Center.
Hey, Dave, Vodka Stream Crew. Do you see the Snyderverse continuing on with different actors if the same characters are going to continue on in theatrical releases, like Wonder Woman, others, like that may have theatrical contracts and back-end deals, and that those characters would continue on in the Snyderverse just with different actors and actresses? Thanks. Bye.
I'm glad you asked that question because I have asked that question many times here, and I get ignored every freaking time because nobody wants to answer it. So I want to hear you guys.
I don't know. I was just looking at the alien picture. He has an alien picture like right behind him. I'm like, that's a pretty cool like art of like the alien world. But yeah, I mean, there's always that question of you got Snyderverse, you got theatrical. It's like, is it going to continue on? There's always been that whole argument. I don't know. What say you guys?
Well, since I didn't get to answer the last question about Ninja Turtles.
Well, now you know how I feel every Wednesday and Sunday.
Shut up!
No, I don't, because I'm going to need to talk right now. So,
what's it been?
So when it comes to like these, the continuation of it, I feel like it's really, I don't think Zack would recast anybody unless he was forced to. Exactly. Like there was no reason for him to go, all right, guys, well, hey, I'm re-releasing this and I'm going to be doing my version, because he had to contact them all first before it was all set in stone, is what he said.
Yeah. One thing
it's not like he would have been like, hey, look, I'm going to be releasing it, and if they give me the option to like, continue it, and you're not up for it, I'm just going to replace you. It's like,
I
I feel like
he said that the reason that he wanted to do it was to like fulfill his commitment, his creative commitment to them on what he pitched them on.
right.
So like how much passion is he going to have if it's like,
so
hey, here's your new Batman?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
like he would have told them, look, I'm doing this. There could be a potential that it continues. Are you okay with it? Like that's it. Like it's a simple, hey, look, if I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to let you know that I'm willing to commit to continue the vision that we started, but also the vision that we started also ended not after this film, but 2 films later. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that kind of a commitment? You know
Right,
what I mean?
but okay, we dive into the into the hypothetical here. So hypothetically speaking, let's say that he did have that conversation with those guys, and they say, "Yeah, we're gonna come back for this sequel, for this movie, and finish it up." And I don't know. I was not in that room, but I don't know if he would put that on their backs, like, hey, there might be a possibility for you to come back for a sequel. Are you up for it? I don't think he will have that conversation just yet. But the question was, if they give him the green light to do a sequel, would one of the person that who's been very vocal about not coming back, without being negative about it, has been Ben Affleck. So let's say Ben Affleck says, I don't think I want to go back and do another Batman movie. Do you think that he will find himself with the hard decision to go ahead and recast this character, or would he kill him off right away?
No, I think he just wouldn't continue. I think Zach is just Zach would not do it without Ben, and I don't think they would continue the story without Zach.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we know how Batman is supposed to go out. He's supposed to go out in a blaze of glory. I mean,
yeah, I think
when he was, I mean, when he's pitching the idea, it's like, yeah, do this, but we're not expecting you to fucking do it for 12 years like Hugh Jackman or 20 years like fucking or whatever the hell it was, 12 years also for Robert Downey. I would say just do it for these, and if there's anything else, maybe do your own movie if you want to do it. And anything else that you want to do too, but you have a finish line. I already wrote the finish line for you. It's on a board. It's on a whiteboard. Now it's on a fucking t-shirt.
That's what Steven was like. Steven said where he's fulfilling the commitment that he had.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's kind of cool where he can go back to Joe and says, "Hey, is there anything cool you want to do with your character? I'm open to it." And
I love that. I love that.
It's not like, hey, you're gonna do this and you're gonna dress like this and stuff. He's like, what would you like to add to our project? It's like an inclusivity, which was like kind of.
I think that's one of the things that's why Snyder always gets praise from actors, because he doesn't just go like, no, the character is supposed to be like this. He probably goes, okay, I have a character on paper. We have to bring it to life. I have to collaborate with whoever I think is right for that. And I damn it, I had it in the chamber and I forgot to throw it out there with Connie Nielsen, because according to her on an interview before, is she's the reason why she got cast was because of Snyder. Like, he kept on telling Patty Jenkins, hey, you need a caster. She's your Hippolyta, that's your girl right there. And Patty was like, no, I don't think it is. And then finally they met up. In London or something like that, and had a lunch, and then they just totally just hit it off, and there it was. It was the history.
I think you see something on actors that all the directors, you have this casting directors, but I think he sees something that he wants his characters, and at the same time he includes them in the process. Like, okay, I'm developing this character, but what is your take on that? Because he understands that these actors are creative people. They are in the arts, so they can bring something to the table. So he gives them an open forum so they can bring something to the character and make it their own too. So I guess that's what everybody loves working with them, because
by the way, that article you were referencing was THR from May 26th of this year.
Wow.
Wow. That was
all right. It's amazing how many. Yeah, he just pulled that one. Oh, by the way, it was from this article. Like, it's so yeah. No. But I meant to like throw that out there, but I think I was so like when she was praising Zack, I just shut the fuck up. I just completely just went quiet and went, I'm just gonna let her talk about Snyder the way she's doing, and then all of a sudden it was just like, yeah, it was just like nonstop. Oh yeah, and you just brought it up right here. So you sent the link.
Yeah, I was kind of I don't surprised is maybe the wrong word, but very impressed, or I thought it was cool. Just how, I mean, obviously the little message she gave to Zack was amazing, but just the outside of that though, the praise about him and him as a filmmaker and as a person. Not that it's you hear it from everyone, but
playing.
You hear that stuff from everyone, but it I don't know. It just whenever you hear it, and it's never a canned response.
No,
and especially with her, I think it was so genuine, and it was like, wow, you're really like this is not like a half-hearted like, oh yeah, no, I think Zack is great. It was like she took the time to like make sure people understood all the different ways she respects him. I was like, that's cool.
I mean, like I was ready for that question. I mean, I obviously I was like, all right, got to get all the Wonder Woman stuff, and then I'm just gonna go right into all right, Zack Snyder's Justice League. How do you feel about that? And then it just perfect because it was just like, I don't know how long all that went, but it's just like it went off on like this tangent of just like, yes, like, yeah, like you said, it felt genuine. It wasn't just like, yeah, I'm so glad he gets to see it, it's gonna be cool and blah blah blah. It wasn't just that. She just full on. And then like I edited it out, but she literally stopped and goes, hey, should this be the time where I should talk about AFSP and all this? And I was like, yeah, let me give it to you full screen. And I just so I edited that part out. So
you said that you had mentioned that to her ahead of time. Did she have time to like prepare anything for that?
No. Like
that was virtually off the cuff.
Yes, literally right before
that felt
I
like
hit
a prepared
record.
statement.
Yeah, literally right before. Well, you know what though? Like, there was questions that I sent to her people, but there was nothing like it was just like the only question that was simply that, like, how do you feel about Zack Snyder getting his version of Justice League out there? Will we actually see your character the way that it was meant to be seen in Justice League? That's the only thing that she got for Zack Snyder. That's it.
That's
so
cool.
Like before, like we hit record, like I said, I asked her, I'm like, hey, we're doing this thing on Sunday. It's sounding like Zack's going to be a part of it. He's going to come on my stream. Could you like give like a little message when I was going to say like when we're done, and it could be quick, and just that's it. And like I said, when that question got asked and she was just praising Zack and she went all through that. And then she, like I said, she just stopped. She goes, should this be the time where I say that? And I was like, the floor is yours. And I just clicked full screen and just let her go. And it was like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, there was nothing like that. It's just, that was all so genuine right there. Awesome.
You gave me this amazing, sweet auntie vibe, the entire thing.
She does. She really does. No, it was great. She definitely was a treasure. And yep, I think we're gonna wrap it up. We're over 3 hours here. Mr. Will Morris, I know he sent a nice long video that was like over 2 minutes that we'll get to next week. We'll keep it in the I'll keep it in the Film Junkee closet. Well, now that's where I keep the shirts and merchandise, which you can get, like a shirt like this. May the source be with you. Somebody commented on this today. They're like, ha, look at that. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Play on words, look at that. And, of course they don't understand the relevance of it. But anyways, but yeah, Will Morris, sorry that we didn't get to your question, but we'll get to it next week or next time, whenever the heck we do one of these again.
Maybe tomorrow, but because next week, Friday, was actually Christmas. So I don't know.
Yeah. So,
and then the next week after that is New Year's Day.
True.
So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
New Year's vodka stream.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get all toasted.
We'll hit all 3 time zones on over the course of the vodka stream.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah. But yeah, thanks, Will. Yeah, like I said, we'll get to your video next week because he's actually working on a Robin and Batman story that sounds very interesting. And yeah, it'd be interesting to get the panel's opinion on it, but we're already running over 3 hours and stuff like that. So, but yeah, when it comes to Vodka streams, like I said, Fridays, the next couple of Fridays are a little different. They might all be pushed to Saturdays. We'll see what happens. Maybe there won't be a Vodka stream on one of them. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But thank you guys, of course, for clicking in. We'll go around the horn. And I mean, Scott, we're gonna save you for last, and I swear to God, I will not forget you. I always still feel bad.
Say that every time.
I'll never let that down. My mom says hi, by the way. I talked to her on the phone, and she's all, "Is Scott gonna be there? If he does, say hi for him for me." And I was like, for sure. So, Mama
Film Junkie, I miss you.
There you go. All right, Chris Wong Swenson.
Yeah, I'm Chris Wong Swenson. You can find me on Ping Pong Flick Show, your daily dose of DC content. And you also find me on Dave the Film Junkie Show, Deck the Halls, this Sunday with Zack Snyder.
Here it is. Mr. Ben Everts.
And you can find me on Twitter, Mr. _Everts, and every Wednesday 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time with this guy here on the Real Emotion podcast. There's also another podcast that comes out on Saturdays at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Krypton Cage and Maher movie.
The movie Viking.
I was doing good. I was doing good.
This is why you saved me for last, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. This is why.
We'll be part of the Deck the Halls of Justice on this Sunday. And we're gonna have a couple of some young ladies that are part of the movement, and to represent the women of the movement. So this is gonna be fun.
Cool.
So,
all right,
that's it.
Fortunately, it's not going to be Zack Snyder, which is
yeah. We better get an invite.
I mean, let's put it this way: if I fucking see Steven on that goddamn episode, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Okay, and I'm not joking. Look at my fucking face. Do I look like I'm joking?
No.
But seriously, I'm just kidding. Fuck Steven.
I'm just so glad that we are going to be before you guys.
I'm glad that we're going to be kind of the pre-game to it. And by all means, we'll be sending invites and having people. And hopefully it's all fun and it's for a good cause, I think. And not that I think, I know. And it's amazing to see, Snyder kind of embrace it the way he has.
That's what he's all
finally
about.
got the shirt.
We got the shirt too. Yeah, I was wearing it on Wednesday's Film Junkie Live.
Yeah, I think that it's an incredible thing to see this kind of, it's something that I think I talked about. I don't know how long ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. That 3 years ago, dude. At this fucking point in time, with it in 2017, we were all still fucking reeling from the shit show that we saw. That we were just like, fuck this. I'm not taking this. I'm not going to deal with it. And here we are 3 years later, and Zach's popping up on Dave again because guess what? He can. There's no random, it's like okay, that's cool. We're all getting a chance to talk and deal with Zack Snyder's Justice League versus what the fuck happened to Justice League. And it's, this weekend, I think, looking back at this whole 2020 and it's been a shit show of a fucking year. And to kind of end it on this, AFSP drive, I think is an incredible kind of end to this 2020 because 2021 is going to be fucking nuts, I feel like. So it's not even a you could follow me anywhere. It's a plug that I think deserves to be for the next year that we're coming into because these next 2 Fridays are Christmas and New Year's, so I don't know what we're gonna do, but goddamn, dude, I'm excited for 2021.
Yeah,
we are less than 100 days away from Justice League.
Yeah. That's gonna be all right, Mr. Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Colbert. You can follow me on Twitter at smcolbert. You can find my writing at screenrant.com and catch me and Andrew Dice at on BVS by the minute, or you can find that and the periodic updates to Justice League by the minute at snyderminute.com.
There it is. And then to bring us home, Mr. Scott McClellan.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27. You listen to my podcast, DC Film Squadcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. We can also be found on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and the entire network of shows can be listened to at squadcastmedia.com.
There it is. Love that voice. All right. So there you go, guys. You guys know what to do. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow me on all the sock meds that are down below, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then like Mr. Swenson said, we'll be on at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we might have a little a buddy there that's going to be, talking some stuff.
Fucking hard fact.
So just saying, we'll see what happens. It's going to be good times. But cheers, guys. I actually made the vodka last all the way to the very end. Usually doesn't happen. I was conservative today. So cheers.
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 And as per usual.
And also, I'm excited to watch the Snyder Cut because Joss Whedon sucks.
I missed the other one. Shit.
Hard fact.
Everybody got that?
And there it is.
Roll them all up.
There we go.